ho ho, Merry Following Lucha. This is a new episode of Following Lucha. This is a podcast where we discuss the lore and history of the hit TV show Lucha Underground, and then we talk about history of the week of the episode airing, and then we talk about history of this week, except today is a bit special, everybody. It's a very festive episode.
Oh my god.
We are going to be discussing the hit 2013 movie. Is it 2013?
No, you got it off by 2 years. But it's okay,
2015
Steven.
movie, Santa's Little Helper.
But who even are we? Before we get to who stars in the movie, who the fuck are we?
Oh, fucking
For the unacquainted.
My intro. Why would you know my intro like that, dude?
Sorry, man.
Whatever. I'm Steven. That guy is JC.
Thank you.
What up, everybody?
Hey.
How was your holidays?
The holidays are happening right now, so I hate to wrap it all in a bow quite yet, Steven.
I had a work potluck the other day, right?
Another?
Yeah, right. I think they air like every month. It's weird.
That's really weird, man.
Basically, for my potluck, right, I was kind of talking with people, and then I realized I kind of ran out of discussion points to talk about. I ended up just running away and hiding in an office space.
Why do you need discussion points? Just be a person.
I'm eating food, right? And I don't want to talk to people right now. I just kind of want food.
I'm gonna guess so.
I don't have anything else to talk about these guys. I'm not part of the Secret Santa thing they're doing.
Oh, that's so sad. I'm so sorry you're not part of Secret Santa. But no, my thought is that then say I didn't feel like talking to anyone, so I went off to a corner. Don't say I ran out of talking points. You're not a fucking news correspondent,
I ran out
Steven.
of talking points, dude.
You're not Tucker Carlson.
People.
Oh my god.
Dang.
Whatever. But Steven, we are here.
Yeah.
We are following Lucha. We are the lore keepers of Lucha Underground. And based off your description of this podcast, you'd think we are in the history section on Spotify. Nope. No, we're in the TV and entertainment section. Because guys, we don't watch wrestling. We watch movies about wrestling, like we did this week with the 2015 box office smash hit. Steven, I'm just realizing I don't have the title of the movie written down.
Santa's Little Helper.
Santa's Little Helper, starring...
I did not know that.
Mike the Miz Mazana and Paige. Because last week you called it Jingle All the Way, and now that's what I've been calling it in my head. I know it's a different movie, but you're the one who put it in my head that this is called Jingle All the Way. I know it's not.
How dare you?
No, we're watching the Miz and Paige movie, where Paige wears elf ears. You know, it's crazy, man. It's wild.
It's insane.
I know... Or at least not I know, but I believe you have never watched this movie before this podcast, correct, Steven?
This is my first airing.
Wow, that's crazy. So this is going to match up just like our Lucha Underground episodes of the podcast, because I have watched this before.
Oh my
I
goodness.
have watched Santa's Little Helper back during Thanksgiving break of 2015. Okay? That's wild. I know, I was in North Carolina. I watched it with my cousin, my aunt, my uncle, my dad, my sister. No, they were a little confused. My dad loved it. My dad loves The Miz, and I do too. So
Good for your dad.
Yeah, good for both of us, honestly.
Honestly.
Yeah, this movie is a WWE Studios production, of course. Similar to most WWE Studios productions, it was straight to DVD and digital. And it dropped on November 17th of 2015. And so I have to sit here and wonder, Steven, it's been so widely available since November 17th of 2015. How are you just now watching this?
Let me see. There are better Christmas movies out there, like...
Like what? Name
Fred.
4. Ah, fuck.
Fred's
Name 3.
Christmas? Shit.
Name 2 more.
Paige.
Yeah,
the
fuck
Santa
you.
Claus.
Santa. Shit. Okay, one more. I think Santa's Little Helper. No.
That one movie where Santa beats up house intruders that just came out.
The one with the racist guy?
I don't know.
Claus or something? Like the one where he's angry, Santa. He's like an angry...
No.
No,
this one, Santa's a good guy, but there's house intruders in his house. He's giving presents
Well,
to.
yeah. He's a good guy, but he's a hard ass, you know?
Is he racist?
Well, in real life, he's racist. What the fuck is that dude's name? He's Mel Gibson?
Something?
Mel Gibson. He plays Santa.
This is the guy from Stranger Things.
Might be.
Is Mel Gibson's racist?
I think so, notoriously anti-Semitic, if I remember correctly. You know?
Common theme, around Christmas time.
A little, I guess so. Anti-Semitism, you mean?
Yeah.
But Hanukkah lasts even longer than Christmas. I think it lasts
Yeah,
until
but
the
Hanukkah
27th.
isn't as marketable.
Well, Target disagrees. Target has a whole Hanukkah section this year.
And how about the Christmas section of Target?
Okay, it's a little larger, but
Yeah.
the Hanukkah section is there. Because does the Christmas section have bread? No. But the Hanukkah section...
I think it does have bread, actually. Christmas bread? Is that not a thing? Like, festive bread?
There's gingerbread, but that doesn't count. That's a cookie.
No, is there, like, legit just loads like bread for Christmas specifically?
I don't think so.
Or is that fruitcake? Might be fruitcake.
Fruitcake is a very Christmassy food. That is fair.
I actually never had fruitcake before. You?
Wow, congrats on that. I think I tried it once and it was kind of gross, you know?
Yeah, it's
like
it's fruit. That way.
Yeah, I fucking hate fruit. You nailed it,
Yeah.
Steven.
I hate
Fuck
fruit too, dude. It's okay.
Official Following Lucha's stance. Speaking of fruit, Steven.
You smell.
It's so true. Speaking of smelly fruit, this movie got a 24% on Rotten Tomatoes. I personally would disagree with that. I would think this deserves a much higher rating. And I think, honestly, what probably hurts it is that it never got an actual critic review. It only got an audience review. And
no.
I feel like the audience was full of trolls who just don't like Mike the Miz Mizanin, okay? There were a bunch of haters.
They review bombed him?
I think they review bombed Mike the Miz Mizanin, unfortunately. And so, but otherwise, I think it would probably be like at least a 72, you know?
Yeah, at least 72.
I would rank it at a 72. Yeah.
You want to go describe the movie real quick? Like a quick synopsis?
No, I don't.
Man. Don't you worry.
Okay.
Dax,
Wait,
Mike the Miz. What?
I was gonna say this is also Paige's film debut. That's my last bit of background info. But continue.
You see, Dax, Mike the Miz Mizanian, a recently fired businessman, is thrown into a competition to become Santa's second in command. Put into a series of training exercises, Dax and other aspiring elf have to head to win the job.
Wow, did you write this yourself? It rolls off the tongue.
I know, it was really hard to read that last part. What the fuck?
Okay.
What was that last part?
Okay, I think I can do a better job, Steven. This movie is about The Miz. The Miz is a greedy businessman, but then the greedy businessman ends up needing a new job. The new job is going to be with Santa Claus, and Santa Claus puts The Miz under a bunch of tasks to find out if he's a good enough person to be the Santa's new helper. Okay, and then that's where it goes. Okay, there are a bunch of people vying to be Santa's helper, including The Miz. So, we do this with every movie. We do it with every non-Lucha Underground TV show. We do like a frame-by-frame analysis of the fucking film. Steven, are you ready to get to it?
Pretty good, dude.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay,
so the movie starts, right? This car. It says Dax on it.
It's orange. The car's orange.
An orange sports car. Expansive, right? And you see the Santa. He's like, hey, aren't you?
Yeah, Santa Claus is standing there outside like a Salvation Army or some shit.
Some fucking youth center or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And then he's like,
center.
hey, you're Dax, right? And he's like, Santa, shut the fuck up, okay? I don't know who the fuck you are, dude.
That's not what happened. What the fuck movie did you watch, Steven?
Honestly,
The Miz,
I don't know. I was
The
kinda
Miz and
distracted
his...
by like Santa, because I thought he was like a cameo, like a wrestler.
Yeah, no, it was
wasn't.
not Mick Foley, believe it or not. The Miz is driving in a sports car up to this youth center, and he parks in the handicap spot. And then the Santa there begging for money looks at Miz disapprovingly. He's like, Miz, you're not a handicap. And then Miz is like, and he pulls out a handicap placard. Yeah.
Bro, look at my arm, okay? It's gone. Actually, I don't know. Do you, I feel like sometimes when people yell at others for like the handicap parking spots, it's usually because they're old, you know? Like, the main argument is that they're not old, so therefore they can't go in the handicap parking. Because only
all you need is a placard, you know?
That's the thing, though. Even if you have
your
placard,
proof.
some people like judge you for not being
again,
old.
The Miz didn't put up his placard until Santa scolded him.
He had a
to
placard,
be fair.
so therefore
he did have
he is a cripple.
He
person.
is legally that, Steven. You are so right. My sister's only 26. She has her own handicap placard.
Does she get like yelled at by people? Like, yeah,
she's never been yelled at. She's never. I know this is. Oh, that's unfortunate. Is your dad crippled?
Yeah, my dad was parking like a Walgreens, and like some lady was like, "Hey, you can't park there. You don't look like you're handicapped." He's like, "Shut the fuck up, lady. You don't know me."
Wait,
that's what he
does
said.
your dad have a disability?
Yeah, I forgot what it was. Probably like some like.
What do
leg
you
thing.
mean?
I don't remember. It was like years
Oh.
ago, like over a decade ago, man.
Oh, but he's past it. It was a temporary one. It was one of the orange
Yeah, it was a
placards.
temporary one. Yeah.
Damn, that's bullshit. Because I can buy that not looking like it if it's temporary. But
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, she probably saw the orange handicap placard and was like, "What the fuck? Yeah, that's your your
orange?
attempt to fit." Yeah,
It's orange?
Exactly.
What? You couldn't get a blue one
Messed up.
or a
messed
white
up.
one?
Well, Steven gets out of, or sorry, not you. Miz gets out of his orange car, not Steven.
Yeah.
And he is seemingly like the landlord of this youth center. He walks in and all these kids
the
are doing
guardian.
like art. And then he walks up to the art teacher and is like, "Rent is due, lady." And then the lady's like, but can you just wait for us to have our charity event? Because we don't have the money yet. And Miz is like, "I've given you enough time." And then you realize Miz...
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Miz is a bad guy. Because they try to pull the whole, like, it's Christmas. And he's like, "Yeah, I know. So
But I'm Jewish. So like,
I don't remember that
really-
part.
you're like, too much for me, man.
But Steven, okay, he basically is like, we're gonna kick you out. You don't have our money. You guys are gone. You guys are done. And then he goes back to his car. He goes back to his offices where he works. And he's going up the escalator and he's saying hello to everyone, but he's doing it in a very condescending way. And he
There's a
doesn't
janitor
recognize, a security guard. Who he
same
doesn't
thing.
Well, I've never had a janitor walk me to my office.
A
Personally,
security guard walked me to my office. I just walked to the office.
I guess. Well, the security guard is assisting Miz to the office, and Miz is like, "You must be new here. Here's a few tips for working with sharks like us." And then the security guard is like, "Miz, I've been here for 7 years."
15 years, actually.
15? Holy, did he say 15?
Yeah,
No
15.
way that man
It's, like,
said
insane.
15.
You guys are
Holy
working until, like,
shit.
12 years old. It's crazy.
God damn, good for the janitor / security guard. You know, maybe he moved
Yeah.
up in the world. Maybe he used to be
You
a
think he
janitor.
got promoted from janitor to security
I think he
guard?
might have been. I think he might
Yeah.
have been. But basically, the Miz gets to his office, and his boss is there waiting for him, and Miz gets fired. Miz, who has just evicted these children from the youth center, he's been fired from his job. And you would have to wonder, why was the Miz fired? And his boss explains it. They have a new employee who is better, and everyone hates the Miz because he's such a raging dick. So that's pretty good grounds for firing if you become expendable and everyone hates you.
Yeah,
you know.
Can, like, I'm pretty sure you could sue your. No, you can't sue. But you can get like unemployment, right? I assume. It's like,
Yeah, of course you can get unemployment.
yeah.
Absolutely, but the problem
for
is,
Miz.
I don't think unemployment's going to be enough to cover the mansion that he lives in and his
no.
orange sports car, whatever the payment is on that. And Miz tries to pull but boss, it's almost Christmas, like the youth center tried to pull with him a few minutes ago. And then his boss was like, "Well, fuck you, okay?" And then the Miz is like, "But I
Bitch.
bought a house I can't afford." And then the boss is like, "Well, you shouldn't have done that." And then Miz is
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, no, that's fair."
That's fair.
And then the Miz promptly proceeds to threaten to kill his boss,
Throw him out the
saying
window, he said.
Yes,
Yeah.
many stories down to the ground below. He then breaks his boss's glass desk, shades of that one reality show he was on Psych, you know, when he broke a glass jar over his own head. Is that what happened?
Something like that. It's like a
Something
vase.
like that. Yeah,
Water
yeah.
vase. Yeah.
And then he also grabs a signed Super Bowl football from his boss's office, and he's threatening to launch it at his boss's forehead. But his boss evades the attack, and instead the football hits the 15-year veteran security guard / janitor square in the face.
Oh my god.
And then the 15-year-old veteran janitor / bodyguard punches the Miz in the face and knocks him out cold. So, thus
Hey.
ends scene 1, Steven. Woohoo.
That's how the movie ends, and then we
wish.
cut to Santa Claus.
No,
Is it?
no, we
Is it
no, we
timing? I
don't.
don't know. I don't remember.
No.
I don't remember.
What
Oh
the
wait, no,
fuck?
we got to back to Mrs.
Why are you
House.
trying to
The Mrs.
guide this
Expensive
show when you
House.
don't have notes,
The
man?
Mrs. Expensive House, dude. That's what we cut
I
to.
just wanted to get your
And Miss
thoughts on the
read my
Miz.
paper.
On the Miz so far, after he's been knocked out by the security guard, because I feel like that's very
no.
unprofessional behavior from the security
No,
guard.
fuck you, your mom. Anyways,
Shit.
Anyways,
Okay.
we
we never
learned a
see
lot
the
from
Miz's
this
mom
scene.
in this film. Just to be clear, we never
we
see his
have.
parents.
'Cause he's an orphan. Wait, that's a spoiler.
What?
Shit.
Oh my god.
Shit,
Steven. Shit.
Spoiling these spots
Damn it.
now.
You've ruined
Dang
the
it.
podcast. I'll have to bleep that in post.
This movie's over. Don't.
Basically,
It's so loud when you do it.
we cut
Anyways.
to the Miz's mansion, and the Miz is there, and he's trying to call a whole bunch of other law firms, business places.
Sales
We don't
associate
really
jobs.
know where Miz works, but he's trying to call other business places to see if he can get a job with them. But they no one will answer him. Okay. And as he's doing this, you can see a woman in the background, and she's like packing up her suitcase.
Very attractive woman. Played
Of course.
Somebody.
And then Miz is like, dang, this all sucks. And then the girlfriend's like, yeah, I know, that's why I'm leaving you. And then she goes to leave the house, and Miz is like, no, girlfriend, don't leave me just because I lost my job. And she's like, I'm not leaving you just because you lost your job. I'm leaving you because you have no friends. I'm leaving you because you're incredibly self-centered. And I'm leaving you because you're not a very likable person.
What?
I know, that's hurtful. That is
Oh my
harsh.
gosh.
Miz
Is she
responds,
the good guy here?
well, I don't know, because the Miz says, well, I was likable enough for you to fuck me. And then she was
For
like,
my money.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then she leaves. We never see the girlfriend again.
That's
the
okay.
Miz is now single.
Ex-girlfriend now.
Yes, exactly.
So everything has been going Miz's way so far, you know? Lost his job, gonna lose his new house, gonna lose
Lost his
car,
girlfriend. Can't
lost
get a
his
new
girlfriend.
job. Oh, worst of all, Steven. He says the word wolf at one point. You know, like the animal, a wolf, like that dog creature. He tries saying that, but he says woof instead. I don't know if that's
wolf.
like a shoot, if Mike the Miz Mizanin says woof instead of wolf, or if that was written in for Dax the character to say woof
Like
instead
a
of wolf.
bro.
Like a woof. I'm a woof, baby. That's what he said.
And then some UPS guy came up and was like, typical women, right? Right, Miz? I don't know who this character
UPS.
was.
You think this is a UPS man, Steven?
It's a UPS. Who is it? Is it just some
Well,
like,
I've
contractor
personally
dude?
never had a UPS man repossess my car, but I have
Yeah?
heard of repo men doing that, you know?
Repo men?
Repo
What?
men.
Repo man?
This man is here to repossess the Mrs. car. Apparently it's a work
Oh my
car.
gosh.
It's not his own, so he's taking the orange sports car.
What a
This is
douchey
Dax.
work card, by the way. Oh my gosh, what?
Oh my god, yeah, right? This is kind of wild. It's kind of wild. But the Miz is devastated. He says, I can live without the girlfriend. But the car?
My car! My
the
work
Miz-
car!
The
Where was
Miz
his
is
other
having
car?
a day.
Does he not have like a car? Does he just have the work car?
Dude, he just has the work car. It's so cool to drive around in, you know?
Dang.
Because
Does he pay
think
for
about it.
gas on that?
The Miz's lifestyle is one of luxury because it has to match up with the air he puts out with his job. He has to appear as a luxurious person to attract luxurious clients. Thus,
Right.
he always has to drive his orange sports car.
Like
so
a real
everyone
estate
knows.
agent.
Ooh. Exactly.
Maybe he is a real estate agent.
I don't
Like a
think so.
tycoon? Real estate tycoon?
Well, because
I don't
real
know.
estate agents wouldn't evict people, Steven. That's
Yeah. Fair.
not quite
What
how
is
that
his job?
works.
Is it just like a landlord? Are
Well,
landlords
I
that,
thought so, but evidently not, because he went to an
There's like
office.
a whole office. Yeah. I thought
You
landlord's
can't
like
really
one dude, right?
fire a landlord, I don't think. So I don't know what's going on, what the fuck he is. But he's a businessman, is the point, and he conducts serious business. And then the Miz walks up to the youth center that night. Okay, he's had it. His life is falling apart. He goes back to the
Yeah.
youth center where he's just evicted everyone, and he keeps fucking looking at this carving on the bench. Okay, and remind me if I'm wrong, Steven, but he keeps looking at this carving on the bench and getting all sad. It never comes back later in the movie, does it?
The Dax like carving?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty prominent in the movie.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, you'll have to tell me when then, because I missed it completely.
I think
no,
it's
not
whenever
now.
he visits
Not
the
now.
center.
I mean later.
Like, every
Later
time
when
we
it
go back
comes
to the
up.
set, you'll see
Okay.
it. You'll see it. Yeah.
Okay. But the Miz keeps like glancing emotionally at this carving in a bench whenever he goes to the youth center, and he does it again here.
Why? Why would
don't-
Dax's name be in the youth center
I
carved
don't
in?
fucking know, but it's the middle of the night now, okay? And fucking Santa's back here. The guy who was upset at him for using the handicap placard. He's back. And now Santa knows his name, which it's hard to miss his name. It said it on his big orange car earlier, that his name
Yeah.
is Dax.
Well, you don't know his name is Dax. Dax is a pretty shitty name, you know?
Yo, you know what's fucked up? Later in the movie, they
What?
say his last name, Steven, It's Dax Hardwick, which is so close to fucking Dax Harwood, okay? So close.
Do you think
What do
Dax
I
Hardwood
think?
got, like, inspiration from the movie to be named that Hardwood?
Oh my god. We
Hardwick?
know Dax Harwood is a Bret guy, but above a Bret Hart fan, Dax Harwood is
he
a
a
Miz
Miz
fan.
Is
yeah,
he a Miziak?
well, they're not called the Miziaks, Steven. We're called the
The
no. The Mizzies was his own version of the Slam Meets he did one year. Fuck.
Oh.
What? I swear we used to have a name. The Miz fan. The Miz heads?
Miz
we had a
Pack.
name. No, there was a name for us, man. The Posse? No.
The Posse, that's a shit
Not
name.
the Jomo Sapiens. Shit. Steven, I forget it. But I swear we had a name at one
Mizzards.
point. The Mizzards of Oz. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is pretty badass. But Steven, he is there and Santa's there, and Santa is like, Dax, what do you want for Christmas? And Dax is like, I want you to leave me alone. And then he gets angry and storms off. So, Miz, again, is not having a good night. Santa's
not.
harassing him.
Fun.
He's lost his
He's
job.
having a good time. The Santa is, like, harassing him for, like, no reason now at this point.
Also, how did he get to the youth center if he doesn't have a car?
Walk.
But how far is it? We're thinking he lives right next door to the youth center?
Maybe. I don't know. Are there, like, rich
put it-
houses next to youth centers?
Put it in Google Maps, Steven. Look it up.
Or, like,
Pull it up.
Is it like,
yeah.
Is it like, maybe it's like, maybe he lives in like a very bougie area that just happens to have a youth center nearby? Or are they orphans?
Maybe. I just don't picture the youth center for orphans being next to all the mansions in town. But maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe it's a better look for the people, you know, who are living next to them.
So all this is happening in fucking like Idaho or some shit, wherever they are. But meanwhile, in the North Pole, Steven,
Oh my god.
we cut to our next scene. And the elves
my
in the North Pole.
goodness.
I know, the elves there are hard at work. And so is Santa Claus, the real Santa Claus.
Working it, dude. He's exercising. It's awesome.
He has a whole ass personal trainer when he exercises, Steven.
She's
okay?
played by Annalyn McCord. Do you know who that is?
No, I've only seen her in this movie, unfortunately.
Oh no, you've never seen Fired Up?
No,
Or
no.
Titanic 666?
I will have to watch Titanic 666.
DC's Legends of Tomorrow?
Those are all the next 3 movies on my to watch list. Actually, it's funny you list
Oh my
them.
goodness.
But Steven, the personal trainer just looks like a human. She doesn't even look like an elf because she doesn't even have pointy ears. And apparently she's
Well,
really.
actually, no one in this movie has ears. All the elves, they have like hats on or beanies or hair to cover up their ears.
Listen.
Like they just could not afford to have like makeup for their ears. to be
Listen,
pointy.
look at the cover of the movie. Paige has pointy ears, okay?
That's photoshopped in. You don't even see Paige's ears in this movie. It's also covered up by hair.
In the cover
beanie
of the
most of the
movie,
time.
guys, spoilers, Paige is an elf. She has pointy ears. But this other elf, the personal trainer, has her hair pulled back, round ears, and she's very self-conscious about it,
She's
okay?
also wearing like workout clothes, showing off her midriff, right?
Hell
And in
yeah.
Every scene with her, it looks like a porn shot. Cause I
little
don't know,
bit.
I just keep expecting Santa to be like, "Yo, hey, I wanna come down your chimney, man," or something like that, you know?
I did feel mildly
Every
uncomfortable.
scene. Every like screenshot from the scene of Santa and this like workout chick, it just looks so weird.
Very. I watched this
And horny,
in public
you know?
at a Barnes & Noble cafe, and I felt
Wow.
really bad about it at points, you know? Like,
Are you
really.
subconscious?
Well, yeah, at one point, The Miz rips his shirt off in front of a bunch of old people.
Yeah, again,
You know, it's like,
for some reason, in this movie, there's just so many shots like, shit, is this a porn?
yeah, it's really weird. But Steven,
Uh-huh.
again, all the elves are hard at work.
Yeah.
Santa's hard at work working out. And Santa says, personal trainer elf, I need a new ho-ho-ho.
Again,
And I say, okay.
No, it's
No.
like one step away from like, wait, what movie am I watching?
And yeah, I don't know what that means, but Santa explains. His ho-ho-ho is his number one
hose.
elf. It's his number one helper. His ho-ho-ho. Which again
Lord.
does not sound much better that his number one helper is his ho-ho-ho.
Wearing
but
that
basically-
clothing too in this scene? Like, oh my
I
gosh,
know.
isn't it
San-
cold in there?
apparently Santa's current ho-ho-ho is retiring, okay, or died. I don't really remember. And they need a new one. Yeah. And so the personal
slaves,
trainer...
right? Essentially, elves?
Sure.
Right?
The personal trainer looks
Yeah.
excited. She is like, oh my god, am I next in line? But then Santa drops a bomb on her. He says, I actually have a human, a normie, in mind for the position.
A normie?
A normie. And
oh my god.
he's like, but just to make sure that normie is qualified and cut out for the job, I want you to go spy on him. I want you to watch and follow this normie to make sure he has all the makings of a good ho-ho-ho. And the personal trainer's like, yes, Santa, I will do as you ask, you know? What would you do if Santa approached you about spying on a
Santa,
normie?
I will totally spy on normies for you, Santa.
Aw,
I
that's
love
so
normies.
sweet.
I'm an elf. Because all elves are like people in this movie, right? They're not like
Steven, you're so
tiny
progressive.
people.
All elves are people. It's finally
Right? They're not
time
like,
someone says
they're not
it.
like tiny people in this movie, right? They're like regular
No, they're
sized
just
people.
humans. Yeah. They're
Just have
regular
20
humans.
years.
Yeah, a little bit. Also,
Like
at one point,
Scandinavians.
Mrs. Claus
Similar.
comes up to the personal trainer when Santa walks away, and
Mm-hmm.
she says, "Personal trainer, I know what you and Santa are doing." And again, Steven, to your point, this is a porno. But then the
Every
personal.
time, I don't. Are they doing it on purpose? I don't know. Who's the director of this movie?
Obviously, they're doing it on purpose. It's very much innuendo. And then the girl is like, Mrs. Claus, me and Santa, I would never. And
Purely
Mrs. Claus.
platonic work relationship, Santa. Okay, or Mrs. Claus.
And then Mrs. Claus laughs it off. She's like, ha 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 ha. No, that's not
I'm
what I was
actually into
thinking,
that.
sweetie.
Oh, that's a.
That's cool, Steven. I'm glad
That's what she could say, you know?
No, that's what you, Steven, the person, says.
If I wasn't,
and that's
if
cool,
I
man.
was in Mrs. Claus's shoes right there, I would say, I'm actually pretty into that, dude.
Yeah, I'm actually quite the cuck. That's what
Yeah.
you would say. Okay, very
Me and
cool.
Santa, very progressive,
Okay.
you know, very
Yes.
poly, you know.
I'm glad you decided to just shorten it. that works too.
I actually know what it was called, to be honest.
Polyamorous, polygamous,
Yeah. Polygamous?
any
No,
of
just
them work.
Polly Pocket.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, Steven, I used to play Polly Pockets with the girl my grandmother used to babysit, okay?
What?
We used to play Polly Pockets and finger puppets, and that was my weekends for like a good 2 years, you know?
Damn, must be like depressing.
Why? I loved it.
Oh. You didn't
Yeah.
like, did you like do anything cool, Polly Pockets? Like, how do you play with them?
We would play house and like store
That
and
it?
stuff like that. We would like dress them all up, you know? It was cool. It was a great time. We'd watch Tom and Jerry together. It was again a killer time.
Do you have
Mackenzie.
like OCs? Do you have like OCs for your Polly Pockets?
You know, we probably did. I don't know if
Are
we
they, like-
as 6-year-olds quite were using that phrasing. We
No.
may have even been younger than 6. This might have been more on like the territory of 5.
Wow.
But no, I'm sure we had our original characters. Yeah.
Good for Mackenzie, dude.
Yeah. Shouts out. Her parents, I think, were quite rich.
Oh, wow.
But Steven,
And they want to give her Polly Pockets? They couldn't get like an iPhone at the time?
listen.
Unfortunate,
Listen,
dude.
I don't think the iPhone existed for one.
Unfortunate. Can I get the Nokia 7? Come on. Okay.
Listen, she's a 5-year-old. She can't even spell yet. I don't know what's going on, man. And so the Miss Claus is like, oh, I know you're not trying to fuck my husband. I just wanted to say I know you're helping him with the new ho ho ho, and I know you're probably a little disappointed it's not you, but keep your chin
Aw,
up,
man.
okay? Just know that everything good is coming to you, okay, sweetie?
And then she feeds Santa a cookie, and then Workout Elf was like, bro, what the fuck? What was the point of our exercise, you know?
Yeah, but then she gets
Calorie
over it.
Deficiency, Santa.
She gets over it. The personal trainer elf, who is not a wrestler. Why the fuck are we watching this movie? She
I
hops
think
into
there's
the.
one like a hot girl in this
I guess
movie.
so. I guess so.
Just like, yeah.
She hops into the peppermint portal, Steven, okay, which is run by a short, bald man with a beard. And is his name like Mitzi or something like that? Muffins?
His name
Mittens?
is actually
Yeah?
Fitz.
I was close. Fitz
Yeah.
is operating the peppermint portal, and he says, "Oh, personal trainer, a lot of elves die when they do this, but I hope you live." And then she's like, "What?" And then Fitz is like, "Oh, I'm just joshing you."
JK, bro. Epic prank. I don't know where they go.
And it's like, "Haha, I'm just joshing you again. I know where they go." And then And then the personal trainer gets sent through the portal. And she...
And we cut.
Well, no, before we cut, Steven, Paige is here.
Oh my goodness. And
WWE's own Saraya Beavis Knight.
She's like, my goodness, is that my girlfriend right there? I didn't know she was in this movie. That's crazy.
Oh my god, this is what I'm saying
she
as a
looks
viewer.
just like my girlfriend.
She looks
insane,
just
man.
like my girlfriend. It's wild.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately, while she does look like my girlfriend, she does not sound like my girlfriend because one, she's British and that's gross. But also, she calls the personal trainer a freak because of her round ears. And she says, "I'm going to be the next ho ho ho."
She's like, okay, they knew what they were doing, you know? They knew what they were doing at this point.
And the personal trainer's like, we'll see about that. And then Paige wants to know where she called her a bitch.
Bitch, motherfucker.
Just like Smackdown. But Paige is nosy. She looks to Fitz and is like, where did that bitch go? And then Fitz is like, that is confidential information, Paige. And then Paige pulls back her hair.
I'm really good against torture, Paige. You know, I'm pretty strong.
He says that he will not tell her. He has put up with a lot of torture in his life, this poor elf. But then Paige like puts her hand on his thigh, and then he tells her.
Oh my god.
So yeah, but not a porno, guys. I mean, if you want to watch the scene back, Steven, by all means, go back and watch the scene. He she seduces him into telling her. And so,
The Miz.
We cut into a.
Depressed.
What do you call it? Sad. You say we cut to a sad, depressed Miz. I say we cut to the Miz looking the sexiest he's ever looked in his life.
Dude,
okay,
like fucking his Calvin Klein's, dude.
Oh my god, I know. In a white robe, his abs, his pecs on full display.
I didn't realize how juiced the Miz was, man.
I know. And what is he now?
He's like we see him next to like super jacked guys all the time. It's like, oh, not that jacked, you know, compared to like Braun Strowman, you know. But like.
Yeah, because when I say men I want to look like, male bodies that I want for myself, I say Braun Strowman.
You don't want to look like a juiced lumberjack beast of a human?
Well, no, that's ideally what I would look like. You're so right,
You don't want to look like a gorilla, okay? You don't look like that beast
You're saying Braun looks like a gorilla. That's so hurtful. He would hate to hear that. No, he looks like a train, okay? He looks like a train in a mountain.
Like Soul Train.
Oh, and that.
No.
All this stuff. And so Miz looks amazing, but he is being evicted from his home, which is sad. And his doorbell rings one time. It's the person evicting him from his home. And he closes the door and he's like, go away. I'm not leaving yet. And then the doorbell rings again. Well, yeah, the evictor person leaves, but Miz's doorbell rings again. And now he's annoyed. And he looks right into the camera lens and he says, really? Steven, he hit us with the line. He hit the line. He did the catchphrase.
He opens the door, and outside the door, it's
the personal trainer.
Billy?
And Billy is the personal trainer. Yes.
That's her name. Yeah.
And Miz is like, oh fuck, you want to come in, girl? And then the girl is like, yeah. And Miz keeps flirting with her. And then she reveals,
I'm looking for a candidate. You know, the girl says, she's like, I'm trying to hire this new person. You're a person of interest for this job. I'm looking for someone with really nice assets. And the Miz is like, you got a nice asset, girl. And then like he looks at her ass.
That's cool. But basically she's like, I have a very, very famous client. And he really wants you to work for him. Okay? Or I guess really, really famous boss is how she phrased it. And Miz is like,
Vice president
okay.
Of a company.
And Miz is really interested because the personal trainer is like, you're gonna have to go through a lot of tasks to prove that you're worthy for this job. And Miz is like, ooh. So he's like an eccentric billionaire type. He wants to put me through a bunch of shit beforehand. I'm into that. And then Miz says, I have one question though. Is he single name famous? And then personal trainer's like, you could definitely say that. Which is cool.
Oh my God.
I love WWE Studios and their writing team. It's awesome.
Oh my god, you can say that. And the Miz is like, yo, I'm gonna keep flirting with you the entire movie.
Oh, yes, he does. Yes,
And the
he
elf
does.
girl's like, cool.
Well, yeah, the good thing about Elf Girl, she's never been exposed to normie men before. So all like the cheesy, like really creepy tactics the Miz uses, well, they work on her because she doesn't know any better. So
Doesn't know anything else, you know? She
Exactly.
she doesn't have the education, you know, that we do, us normies,
the worldliness,
you know?
exactly.
Also,
Yeah,
Belle, also Billy has like a bell that Santa gave her. That was important.
it's like a
Like a little,
keychain.
it's like a little necklace thing that she could.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just a little
wild.
necklace thing. Yeah. Quick charm.
But the Miz's first challenge starts that next day, Steven, to prove that he's qualified for this job for an unknown boss. Us as the audience, we of course know it's Santa Claus, but the Miz, he doesn't know yet. So the
Why
first
would
thing
he?
he has to prove is that he can handle conflict well without stooping to the other person's level. And the Miz on the car ride to prove that he can handle conflict well says to the personal trainer, I know who you work for. It's got to be Donald Trump.
Holy shit. And the girl's
is-
like, who?
Who? Yeah, I don't.
Who's that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who
I don't
that
really
is.
know. I don't
Who's
really
this
know
Trump
about that.
Man?
But they
I heard
show
he's
up to a
selling
biker
NFTs
bar.
now.
I think he is.
Cool.
I think he is. Trading cards even. They show up to a biker bar, and the task that the personal trainer has for the Miz is that he has to go into the biker bar and announce to the entire establishment that he has bumped into and dinged one of the bikes outside, okay?
And wear a
And-
green hat.
And he has to wear a silly little Santa elf hat.
Green hat. Yeah.
By the way, when he gets into the bar, he makes really intense eye contact with the bartender. And then they
my
cut to
gosh.
the bartender. And who is it?
It's an
if
angry
not,
biker woman.
yeah, who goes by the name of Maurice
Biker
Oulé Mizanin. Also biker woman.
I
Biker
know.
woman is
That's
her
what she's
name.
credited actually in the movie.
No,
Biker
she's
woman.
not. She has a real name in it. It's like Jazzy or something.
No, she's
I
legit just
swear.
called biker chick. That's
Look it
legit
up on
her.
IMDb.
That's
it's
her
like
credits name in IMDb. I'm looking at it right now. It's
no
legit
way.
biker
I saw it
chick, yeah.
yesterday. I thought it was like Jazzy or something like that.
But-
That's wild.
But the cameo, it's Maurice from WWE from 2008 to 2000.
Like 2012 or something. She was also in Ms. and Mrs. She also reappeared as a manager on WWE programming in 2016. On and off since then.
John Cena, Maurice.
She
No, not
a
Maurice,
one-on-one
Nikki
match
Bella.
with John Cena. You're right.
Yeah.
That was my favorite WrestleMania match of all time.
Match.
Uh-huh.
She beat Beth Phoenix in a singles match once.
Yo, me too. Me too.
Former Divas champion, I think.
She is. She is a former Divas champion.
I don't know about
But
women's.
Steven,
Maybe women's.
the Miz gets into the bar, and in front of Maurice, he says, I dinged one of your bikes. And then all the bikers are like, are you fucking stupid? Why'd you tell us that? And one of the bikers looks like a jacked Sam Roberts, okay? And you can't tell me otherwise. Identical.
Jack, Sam Roberts, John Moxley, Alex Jones,
Nick Gage, Alex Jones.
Just bald white men.
Yeah, with beards, with very, very gnarly beards. And then the jacked Sam Roberts dumps a beer on the Miz's head, on his elf hat. And then the whole gang of bikers start chasing after the Miz. But he's so good, the Miz. The Miz evades all of their physical attacks, and all the bikers end up taking themselves out in comical fashion, similar to an episode of Scooby-Doo.
It's like Jackie Chan, right? Where he doesn't like fight them. He kind of just like does stuff. Like, oops, sorry, man. Let me grab this. Was it mop on the floor?
Something like
Hits him
that.
with the stick. It's like accidental hurting people.
Except for the one time the Miz gets like a baseball bat and swings it at a guy on
Yeah,
his...
that
Yeah.
kind of sucks.
That was on purpose. He did that. But the biker was thankfully unfazed. And then the Miz kicks him, or sorry, Maurice kicks the Miz in the balls.
And punches him.
And
He's
punches
down.
him. But
He's on the
thankfully, before
table.
all the
He's on the pool
bikers
table.
can...
And there's like biker people around him. They're about to like swing empty beer bottles in a chair, right?
Oh, man.
But then out of the blue you hear a ding-a-ling-a-ling-ling, right?
Yes.
And it's like this weird scene where time just stops completely. And you just see Billy just like smiling, walking like, ha, boys. Or whatever.
Listen, Okay, listen.
Yeah.
She freezes time and she saves the fucking Miz, and she goes back to the Miz's mansion. Okay, still yet to be evicted.
We learned
fortunately.
that the bell that she has, it could stop time. You know, for how long? We don't know.
Like, theoretically, the personal trainer could be like, this is the perfect moment. I want to live in this forever, and never unfreezes time. You know? She could do that if she wants to.
Like, we don't know how scary this power is, you know? Because, like, there's no limits to how long she can freeze time.
Does she keep aging and everyone else stays the same age? Or does everyone age?
She has to carry the Miz, right? Out of the building? The Miz is like a 200+ pound dude.
It's true.
And Billy's like 100 pounds.
Ooh, if that. So she's got to find a way to get the Miz into the car. But she does. And she gets him onto his couch back in his mansion. Maybe it's like the youth center. This is all within a 1 block radius, you know?
I mean, she's driving a car at least, you know?
That's true too.
Do you think she freezes time while in the car?
Well, is a
like,
car even functional
out,
when
right?
time is frozen? Like, can you even make a car go?
The Miz doesn't remember anything between this section where time is frozen and like the car ride back.
That's terrifying. Anything could have been done to him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Miz is a victim here. Oh my god. That's so sad.
Scary. The power scaling of this movie is insane, dude.
It is a little insane. But basically they get back to Miz's mansion and the Miz is like, oh, what happened? And she's like, you failed your mission because you hit them with a baseball bat. And Miz is like, fuck. But like,
if only I knew.
If only I knew hitting them with objects wasn't allowed. And so the Miz has failed keeping his temper in check, which is sad. But the personal trainer is also dismayed by the fact that the Miz has no Christmas decorations up in his home. And so she's like,
dude, I'm Jewish.
What? Well, he says Christmas has always been a sore subject. I didn't quite get the Judaism thing, but yeah, Christmas has always been a sore subject. And then the Peppermint Portal Man Fitz shows up, Steven, and he's in the Miz's house, but the Miz doesn't know it because the Miz went to go take a shower. And so it's just the personal trainer, and she's there with the little bald elf man who was seduced by Paige, and he is wearing Santa's clothes. And the personal trainer's like, I rang for Santa. I don't know why you're here. And then they get really weird because apparently the little bald elf was wearing Santa's clothes while Santa was sleeping, and apparently does it often. Steven, maybe you can do a better job explaining the situation than I can. I was uncomfortable.
Billy, the workout elf chick, rings the bell, right? Asking for Santa to come along, probably to inform about the mission failing for the Miz. And out comes Fitz, the elf, who was last seen teleporting Paige away and getting seduced by her. And he's wearing Santa's gear, you know, the big puffy jacket and hat. And he's like, I just like to cosplay as Santa sometimes, you know, when he's sleeping.
But he does it a lot more creepy than that. Yeah, no, it's a lot more like damning, the stuff that he says. But then the personal trainer's like, oh, that's completely normal, because Fitz saves it by saying, I love pretending to be Santa, and
I like
thinking about all the joy I can bring young children. That's what he says. And the personal trainer lady's like, that's so sweet.
That's so sweet of you, dude.
No, it's not, man.
He likes bringing joy to the children. What's wrong with that?
I guess.
And then Fitz leaves the scene?
Well, she gets rid of him, and then the real Santa shows up. You know?
Without any... He's like in a red jumpsuit. Not like
he's in his night clothes. He's in his pajamas.
His PJ.
Yeah.
You always knew Santa? And Santa's like, yeah, I did. Ho, ho, ho.
Santa knew that Fitz is a creep. Yes, that's correct. But the point is, the personal trainer is ringing Santa right now and brought him into the Miz's home because she needs to be convinced why the Miz is the ideal candidate for the ho ho ho, because she just isn't seeing it yet. You know, she's just met this sexist pig who can't hold his temper, you know? And then Santa's like, well, my dear, sometimes the least obvious choice is the best choice. I mean, I guess, but not all the time, you know? Sometimes the least obvious choice is also the worst choice. It's least obvious for a reason.
Like, and what if he was a Nazi, you know? That kind of suck.
That would be really sad to learn this deep into the movie, that the Miz
Dax
is
a neo-Nazi.
That
The
would be
plot
tough.
twist, like Santa is like, you know what? You need to give people chances, you know? Like, just because they may look bad on the outside at first glances, maybe they have like possible opportunities to be the best.
I won't hear
choice,
any of
you
it.
know?
The Miz does
And
not
then he
look bad on
opens
the outside.
closet, and there's like a Nazi uniform in there.
Okay.
And Santa's
Wow.
like, shit, that sucks, man.
I thought Santa was all-knowing. Wouldn't Santa already know about the Nazi outfit?
Maybe, I don't know.
Also, what the fuck is up with these elves trying to hide shit from Santa? Again, this dude's all-knowing. Of course he knows you're wearing his clothes while
He's
you
an
sleep.
omnipotent being, Santa.
Yes,
okay?
exactly.
One of the most powerful beings in the universe, actually. Very much.
I think so. I personally think so. But basically, she like that's the scene, and then personal trainer's like, okay, Santa, I guess I trust you. And then the next day, she takes the Miz out for his next mission. Now he has to prove that he can be humble and that he has humility. And so that's what we're gonna do, because they go to a Chuck E. Cheese, Steven, and the Miz is dressed as a monkey. And while the Miz is dressed like a monkey, he is hosting a kid's birthday party, and he almost beats up a child in the first 5 seconds of his job.
But then the girl's like, don't do it, Miz. Don't beat up children.
Don't do it, Ryback. Oh.
And then Billy starts flirting with like the pizza guy for some reason. The guy making
Yeah,
the
okay,
pizza.
listen here. They start out in the pizza kitchen of this Chuck E. Cheese monkey place, right? And
Yeah.
the Miz just straight up steals a slice and eats it, which, okay,
That's
fine.
fine. That's fine.
But
that's
then
fine.
the pizza man, the chef, approaches Billy, the personal trainer, and is like, would you like to try some? And then the personal trainer, Billy, is like, oh, I'd love to. And she just eats a pepperoni off of it. She picks off a pepperoni and eats it. That's not trying pizza. That's
And then
trying
she tried another
pepperoni.
slice, another pepperoni. And then the
but
pizza
she's
guy's
not-
like, hey, don't eat all my pizza, bitch. Like, something like that.
This poor girl, just everyone thinks she's a bitch. She's the nicest person imaginable, but everyone.
Yeah.
That's so sad. That's
so
so
during the
fucking
birthday
sad.
party, the Miz, it cuts to like this this
A montage
this
of-
montage, right?
It's him
of
being
The
abused.
Miz being harassed by children. All right. It's like a metaphor for like circus animals being abused by people. I don't know. Like they shoot balls at him, they puke on him, they order food wrong. Like,
I
hey,
like
Miz,
when
can I
the-
get a cheese pizza without cheese? Stuff like that.
Haha, that's funny. I like the part where the little girl climbed over Miz's legs and is like, there's this boy I have a crush on. And the Miz is like, why don't you talk to him? And the girl's like, no, I'll just hit him. That'll communicate my feelings better. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's funny. They know children.
And then the girl smashes the Mrs. ball sacks as she climbs on
She's
him.
in love with the Miz. She
Yeah.
is. That's why. Steven, this scene sucked. I'm sorry. This scene was not good.
Miz starts dancing in one scene, but then
Yes, he does.
we cut to the cake, and I think the cake is a wrestling belt. I'm pretty
Oh.
sure, right?
I don't remember.
And the kid's like, Monkey, I know you're just an fucking underpaid loser, okay?
But that's because
you,
of you and
monkey.
your life choices, monkey.
Piece of
okay?
shit, Monkey. And then Miz is like, fuck you, kid. And then he smashes the kid's head onto the cake, right?
But it was worth it because the kid was being a dick, you know?
And the kid looks up. Everyone there's like, did the monkey just fuck up this kid?
Oh my god.
Shit.
But then the monkey screams, birthday food fight! And then,
then
everyone gets silly string somehow.
starts-
I don't know how that works.
Everyone in this room, there's not enough food for a food fight, so they pull
No.
out silly string.
They
to
do. They all
spray
had it locked
everybody.
and loaded.
Like there's just one cake there. What were they supposed to throw?
It's a valid
And then the Miz is like,
question.
hey kid, am I still a fucking loser? And the kid's like, no, you're awesome, dude. I think that's what he said, something like that.
Yeah, he says,
I
you're
don't-
fucking rad. That's what the kid
Yeah,
says.
you're fucking rad, bro.
Yeah. And then the Miz ends up being scolded by personal trainer lady, because personal trainer lady's like, you shoved the kid's face into the cake. And the Miz was like, yeah, but he liked it. And then she said, well, you were only quick on your feet, and you solved the problem that you created. There should have never been a problem to begin with. And the Miz was like, come on, didn't he deserve it? And the personal trainer lady was like, yeah, that kid is kind of an asshole.
Yeah, that kid's a fucking loser. Fuck that kid, dude.
Exactly. Steven and I are using direct quotes from the movie for all of this.
And so the Miz, right, he leaves to go to the kitchen, I guess, for some reason. And then you see the camera pans out, and it's Paige.
Paige!
She's at the Chuck E. Cheese, right?
She's in the monkey tree at the Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
And I think she talks to Elf Lady workout. I forgot if she does or not.
First she talks to the Miz.
Elf?
She goes to the kitchen and she says, Miz, you took the job that I've been in line for my entire life, okay? And you can't just stumble on in here and take it from me, okay? I know you're next in line, but you can't do that. That's not fair. And then the Miz is so fucking confused.
My father's job, okay? My father had this position, Miz, the monkey. And Miz is like, bruh. What?
Like, you know, you can have like the job. Like I'll even clean the monkey suit for you. Like I don't want to take this from you. You can have it, bro. You know?
And Paige,
because the Miz, the Miz doesn't realize that she's talking about the ho position that he doesn't even know he's in line for.
Well, because the thing is, she's in a costume that looks like an elf, right?
Yes, it is.
He's in a jungle-themed restaurant, and there's elves and jungles, of course.
Yeah, I'll be. Well, it's Christmas, Steven. It's Christmas. So Miz is like, man, no, you can have the job. And then Paige is getting frustrated. She's like, hey, you and your fucking normie logic. Fuck you. And then she goes and she sees the personal trainer.
He's like, out of there, right?
Exactly.
And fucking meets up with the other elf. And it's like, bro, this dude's so lame, bro. These fucking normie motherfuckers are... And then
she says, Billy, when I'm the ho, I'm gonna make your life a living hell. And
then Billy's like, you can't say those words, dude. This is a PG movie for some reason. Why is it PG?
And then she winks at the camera.
Why is it PG?
she winks at the camera and says, hey, Colt Cabana, how you doing? But Steven, the next scene...
Hey, Fitz, how you doing?
Hey, Fitz, how you doing? They ignore everything that happened the next day. Oh, no, sorry. They cut back and it's still that night. It's that night after the Chuck E. Cheese, and they're in the Miz's kitchen. And then they're having a good time. They're like, they're having a good old conversation. You can see they're starting to connect, Billy and the Miz. And the Miz, Dax, he tells her, you should smile more. It makes you even prettier. And then
she's not used to being sexually harassed,
she's not.
Sport elf girl.
She's really not. And then the Miz says, you're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. And she's like, oh, you think so? Because I've always been self-conscious about my ears. And then the Miz is like, why? Because they're too adorable? And she's like, ha 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 ha.
Oh, Miz. You're so
But because I guess her fucking round ears make her the ugly duckling of the North Pole. Despite her toned body and the tan skin and blonde hair and blue eyes. It's the round ears that really just throws a wrench in it all.
There's this fucking elves, man, Oof. They hate those type of people. Round ear fuckers,
Fuck them. And so... the next, they're about to kiss,
and then
Steven. At one point, they're about to kiss.
They lean to each other, right?
To kiss. Yeah. They're gonna lock lips.
So fuck.
Tongue.
Yeah.
They're about to do tongue too, man. It's cool. But then Billy's like, oh, I can't do this, and she leaves.
I don't know the implications. Am I even human? Is this interspecies fucking at this point?
Well, yeah. Imagine being into a normie. I would never.
And then she runs off and then hits the window because it is a big window. She doesn't realize that it is a window.
Yes, that's funny because they don't have windows in the North Pole. That's a fact that's not talked about.
They don't need windows, What do they see? What are they going to see? Snow?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so the next day in the car ride to one of Miz's final tasks and jobs, they ignore all the sexual tension between them. But this task is at an old people's home, and Miz has to prove that he can inspire other people.
He needs to learn how to lead a team. You know?
Mm-hmm.
That's the lesson here. He needs to know.
I know seniors that are inspired. Seniors that are inspiring, okay? And so that's why they take him to an old person's home. And The Miz, he stands in front of all the old people's TV in their living room. And the old people are like, oh, what's this boring commercial on the TV? Which is very hurtful, because The Miz is a human in real life, not a commercial. And then, in order to get all their attention, The Miz starts stripping. And all the old ladies love it.
The old lady's like, hey, take off your shirt, fucker. And The Miz is like, no, what? And then another old lady's like, take off your shirt, bitch.
They do. Like, they call him very demeaning
I'll take
things.
off my shirt. And he starts stripping. And the lady's like, weren't you a police officer last time? Because they think that he's a stripper.
A stripper. They think he's a stripper for hire, like in that one episode of Nathan For You, where he hires a male stripper for the man who owns the gas station.
And then Billy's like, yo, Miz, what the fuck? Why are you stripping, dude? And then the old guy's like, take off your shirt too, woman. And then the girl's like, that's no, I already did that scenes ago.
Yeah, everyone's being catcalled and sexually harassed here, which is like, oh, it's almost like, oh, great, some karma for The Miz. He's been sexually harassing Billy the whole movie. Now it's a taste of his own medicine. No, Miz loves the attention. Miz is an attention whore. Yeah. Billy does not take off her shirt. She declines the offer from the old man.
And she walks back to where she was before.
But the point is, Miz gets all of them to exercise, which is how he was supposed to inspire them. And he does it because he's so sexy and hot, and they all dance with him.
He starts dancing, and then the old woman's like, I want to dance with The Miz, too. And she walks up and
takes off her shirt.
And then this woman's in the wheelchair is like, I also want to dance. And then she comes off her wheelchair and starts walking towards The Miz and to dance. And the old guy's like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? You stood out of your wheelchair. It's crazy.
What?
But Steven, that is the power of a strong libido. It's crazy. They probably are very horny in retirement homes. I feel like that's a thing you hear about.
Orgies.
Yeah, fuck yeah. So that's what The Miz is doing. He's inspiring them to all fuck. And like,
they all fucked after that?
I would imagine so. And so Miz succeeds. He teased the old ladies with his abs and got them all excited. So he wins. That's what Santa's looking for. A man who can sexually stimulate old women.
I mean, to be fair though, like it makes sense with a Mrs. Claus being like
no, it does.
Of years old.
It does, especially with them being into the whole cuckold thing. This makes a lot of sense.
I think Paige is going to be like 85 at least.
You think Paige's character, the elf, is 85?
Yeah.
How old do you think Billy, the personal trainer, is?
That's the thing. We don't know how old they are. You know.
We don't know.
They could be hundreds of years old. They could be thousands. The Miz is just a mortal, a normie.
A normie, fucking normie. And so, Miz has one last test for today, Steven. If he can prove himself worthy, he has earned the job with this boss that they don't quite know yet. And the Miz needs to demonstrate who the best version of himself is. And they drive by the youth center as she drops this bomb on him, that this is his next task. And she's like, you always get weird when we drive by this place. What's going on? And the Miz is like, no reason. Very subtle. And then, Steven, they get a flat
Their
tire.
Tire pops.
It does.
Gone.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah.
But Billy is like, I got this. And then she fixes the flat tire. And
the Miz is like, you can't do that. You're a woman. You can't fix tires.
And Billy is like, we don't distinguish between male and female in the North Pole. And then Miz is like, the where? And then
I don't even know how to fix a tire. I've never driven a car before. I don't need cars in the North Pole.
Oh, fuck. That's also true.
Roads, just snow.
Yeah. Billy has all but exposed who she is working for by referencing the North Pole 5 times here. And so the Miz, he just goes off and wanders out on his own while she's busy with the tire, letting the woman do her thing. And the Miz stumbles upon an old businessman who is downed on the ground next to a dumpster. And he's like, ooh, rough night, buddy. And then the old businessman on the ground is like, no, I've been robbed. And the Miz is like, oh no, let me help you up.
Suck, dude.
And then the old man is like, they took my ring, my grandfather's old ring. And the Miz is like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. Was there anything I can do? And he's like, no, it's fine. And the Miz is like, okay. But then the Miz rounds the corner. Miz rounds the corner.
And
he
hooligans.
sees these hooligans, these thugs, these young,
and then
skinny
in the
ass
background,
thugs.
it's Billy, and she's like putting mustard on her hot dog, but it's a lot of mustard.
It's
She
a
doesn't know what hot
lot
dog
of
tastes
mustard.
like.
Yeah.
And Miz
and
like,
so,
shit. Do I want to beat up children today? I don't know.
well, he only would beat up the children because he sees that they have the ring that belongs to the old man.
Right.
And so the Miz knows that he can't let his temper get the best of him because that won't be his best self. So instead, what he does, instead of beating up a kid, he just threatens to beat up a kid, and gets the ring that way.
And you're like, shit, man, I don't want to get beat up today. You know, like you're juiced. You're like 6'2" and like you have muscles.
And he's like, this ring is ugly anyways. I don't even want it.
Take back your money, I guess. And then the Miz is like, hey, old man, guess what I got? And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. My son's gonna be so happy.
Woo! And then the old businessman is reunited with his ring. But then, Steven, it's revealed that that was the test, and the Miz has passed it. And that was the best version of him. And so now the personal trainer lady says, Miz, it's time I finally tell you. Your new boss, if you accept the job, is going to be Santa Claus. And
What?
Miz is pissed. Miz is like, "Urgh, why are you messing with me, personal trainer? Why did you waste my time? Santa doesn't exist. I'm a Jew."
I could have worked for Elon Musk, is what he said.
Oh, wow, did he say that?
Bezos.
That's
or
wild.
Bill Gates. He's just name dropping every billionaire.
I didn't realize Elon was a thing back in 2015. That's wild.
Yeah, PayPal.
I guess, but so is Peter Thiel. He didn't name drop him, okay?
Peter Thiel's lame.
No, he's not. You're just saying that because he's gay, okay?
It's fair.
Yeah. Fuck Gawker.
Can't come back from that.
You really can't. You really can't. Dude, I love Peter Thiel because he single-handedly funded Hulk Hogan's legal trial. You know, what a badass. You know.
Good for him. You think he's a
I know.
You think he's a Hulkamaniac?
No, he just hated fucking Gawker because they outed him as
he
gay.
supported like a racist by accident.
But well, no, it was very clear that he was a racist by that point.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, sucks.
Because
the Miz is like, hey, Billy, fuck you. Why would you tell me about Santa? I'm Jewish. First of all, I don't believe in Santa. Two, Santa's not real. What?
But then
are you fucking?
She realizes
What?
the only way to get Miz to calm down and realize she's not telling a lie is by demonstrating some of her Christmas magic. So she pulls out her time-stopping keychain with the snowflake on it, and she uses it, and she wraps up the Miz inside some wrapping paper.
Oh my gosh! And
then she makes it
steps
snow
up on the couch, looks Miz dead in the eyes again. It doesn't look good for a kids movie at this point. You know, this woman
really
just
doesn't.
standing over the
Miz
Miz being wrapped
is-
in wrapping paper.
Bound and gagged is Mike the Miz Mizanin, while this woman stands
and she's
atop
like,
him.
Shut your mouth. And then she rings the bell again, and it starts snowing. I think.
Well, she gets
Right?
like a pile of snowballs or some shit, and she launches them at the Miz,
Yeah.
I think. And so Miz
guess
is like,
it's enough
holy
proof
shit.
That Santa's real. Being gagged and bald like this. It's pretty
So
cool.
instead, she calls Santa to the front door so Santa can greet the Miz. And she's like, you should get that, because the doorbell rang. But the Miz, he can't walk because he's still bound and gagged. And she's like, oh, haha, silly me. And she unbounds and gags him. And then Santa's at the door. And Miz is like taking this really well. Like the moment he sees Santa, he's like, holy shit.
He realized
you are
the
real.
moment he learns that magic is real, you know, and like these fictional characters that he learned as a child are like actually a thing. Kind of just accepts it, you know, like.
My immediate thought would be like, let me wake up now. Let me get out of this fucking dream, you know?
like his perception of reality just kind of gets shattered here, you know, like after seeing things magically appear from thin air.
Yeah, like at this point, I've lost my job, my girlfriend, my car, my life is falling apart, my mansion, I'm about to be evicted from my home, and now I've been having hallucinations and delusions about a hot woman who wants to make me work for Santa Claus. My inclination would be to climb to the top story of my home and jump off to wake up from the dream. And then if it doesn't happen, best case or worst case scenario is I'm dead, but my life already sucked to begin with. So, personally, if I were the Miz, that's...
So Santa walks up, right? And the Miz is like, wait a minute. Are you that one business dude I saw at the dumpsters crying about his watch? And the man's like, ha ha ha, takes off the hat.
Santa rips off his face. Santa peels back his face and reveals an old businessman.
Fucking crazy. It's like James Bond. He just like rips it off.
It is.
And he makes his British accent that he used as the watch businessman.
But then finally the Miz is like, okay, well, now I know you're real Santa, but why do you want me, Mike the Miz Mizanin, to be the ho-ho-ho? And then Santa transports
we never
the
learned that
Miz
from the movie.
Well, they transport the Miz to the youth center. And we watch as a young Miz, like we're going back in time like 15, 20 years, and a young Miz is there as a child at the youth center.
And this kid looks nothing like the Miz, too.
No, not even a little bit.
For.
But the Miz's younger self gets framed for stealing money from the youth center, and he gets kicked out of this place that he would have called a home as a young child. But the Miz swears it wasn't him. And then, once all the other kids leave, the youth director walks up to the Miz and was like, yeah, I know it wasn't you. It was me. What? And then the Miz is like, no.
Shit,
and then from that day forward, the Miz...
From us orphans like that.
Why?
Dude.
The Miz lost his smile that day.
It really was. Well, the guy was like, Miz, you gotta remember in life, okay? Don't be a bitch, okay? Be a Chad Alpha like me and steal.
When did they
people.
say the Miz was an orphan, by the way? Because you keep inserting this bit of lore. You keep saying he's a Jewish orphan, and I've never heard that.
Parents.
You don't see his parents, but you don't see his parents' gravesite either. You know?
And?
Well, I feel like it's a safer assumption he's just a kid that goes to the youth center than he's a kid without parents.
No, orphan makes him sound cooler.
I guess. Does Jewish orphan sound even cooler than that? Because you keep combining them. Okay.
And so we learned this is where the Miz became a dick that day.
Listen, no. This is where we learn that Santa's a dick today, okay? Because Santa is like, yo, Miz, if you hadn't become an asshole way back when, this is where you would be today. And he shows the Miz a vision of an alternate future where the Miz was an astronaut with his own line of cereal, who also is a supermodel and also is a household name and also has a wife and children that love him. And he would have cured the common cold because he's also a scientist. And the Miz is like,
what?
Why
can't I just have that life?
Yeah, can I just go back in time and be that Miz? And Santa's like, oh, silly you. No, you should be my assistant.
I guess it's like the same thing.
Yeah. So I guess that's the reason for why he wants the Miz to be the ho-ho-ho. Santa's a fucking clout chaser, okay? He saw that the Miz was built to be an astronaut,
because,
world famous.
The Miz was he always wanted to be an astronaut as a kid, he said, right? That's it. That's how he learned.
Yeah.
Back then.
I get it. I wanted to be a New York Yankee when I was a child, so.
Did you get it?
You know, no, but I could have if I hadn't stolen money from my local youth center, you know, and that's less.
Dick, you know?
Yeah.
You weren't a dick, you could have.
Exactly. But
what does the next scene go after this
Well,
one?
the Miz is a little sad by all that news, and I would be too. But then the peppermint portal dude... Okay, Steven. This is maybe my biggest gripe with the entire movie is this next scene. The peppermint portal dude Fitz is on the screen. He's in a bathroom. And he's shaving his beard. Okay?
Why?
I don't know. But then we realize he is shaving his beard in the Miz's home. And then he starts fucking with all the Miz's belongings. And his clothes. And his wardrobe. And dancing in them. This man is a pervert. Okay? Confirmed, because now it's not just Santa's clothes he's perving in, it's also the Miz's. And then the personal trainer shows up and catches him, and she's like, Fitz.
What the fuck, Fitz?
What are you doing, man? And Fitz is like, I also want to be an astronaut.
I want to be the Miz.
I want to be, yes. And so then the personal trainer's like, oh, silly little Fitz.
You see, the Miz and I have so much in common. He likes children. I like children.
When did the Miz ever say he likes kids? I don't know.
Because he works in the youth center.
Oh, well, I guess so. He used to when he was a kid himself.
Yeah.
But then the scene ends. And why did it happen?
Was this scene necessary? What's
Well, you know what I thought?
Movie?
I thought, what if the actor shaved his face in real life without getting permission, and now they have to explain it in the
There's
movie?
an excuse.
Yeah. But this seems like a really long way.
I wouldn't even realize that he had not a beard anyways.
Oh yeah, no, he shaved it off right in the beginning of this.
I didn't even realize he had a beard in the first place.
Yeah, no one really cared.
Yeah. If I just put a fake beard on, I wouldn't notice.
Yeah. But basically, at the end of the night, Santa offers Miz the job of Ho Ho Ho. And so then the Miz the next morning is about to be fucking, what's it called when you're kicked out of your home? Evicted. Thank you, Steven. He's about to be evicted, but the Miz is like, one step ahead of you, buddy, and he leaves his house before the evictor man can even show up, and the Miz teleports to the North Pole, and then the Miz is like, I'm ready to start my job as Ho Ho Ho. Santa's like,
where's the what's it called? This movie is it's just really good things just happen to the Miz the entire time, there's no conflict ever in this movie.
Well, the Miz did get beat up by a group of bikers and lose his wife, and lose his job and lose his car and home.
There's no conflict at all. He just goes to the North Pole and gets a new job.
He was harassed by children when he was just like a monkey.
Yeah, and the Miz he just accepts that the North Pole is real. That's a second.
Well, listen, once you get fucking teleported there, it's pretty easy to believe.
He meets Mrs. Claus, and Mrs. Claus is like, "Hey, Miz, have a cookie, dude." And the Miz is like, "No, thank you, Mrs. Claus. I actually ate earlier today. I don't fall." And Mrs. Claus is like,
That's not how things work here on the North Pole,
fucking bitch." And he grabs him his neck, fucking slams him against the wall, right?
And
grabs
force
the cookie,
feeds him.
shoves it down his throat, and the Miz gargling on it, fuck, man.
And then she locks eyes with the Miz, and she says, "Say thank you. Say thank you."
And gets a gallon of milk, just throws it at the Miz's face, dude. This is the worst experience ever.
The Miz is in the fetal position on the ground with milk all over his body, choking on a cookie. This is where the conflict starts.
Oh my gosh.
But thankfully, he recovers. The Miz gets up to his feet. He thanks Mrs. Claus graciously. And Santa's like, "We got to get you sworn in immediately for your role as Ho Ho Ho." And
Christmas is starting. We need you right now.
That's when Paige shows back up.
What?
And she's like,
how did she even get there?
"Santa, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I've been looking at the rule book, and I want to lodge a public objection because I'm allowed to according to the rule book. And if you look in the rule book, it says that if I lodge a public objection to the new Ho Ho Ho, I can challenge for the new Ho 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 in a competition of my choosing. And so, Miz, I challenge you to an SBC."
And then everyone's like, "Shit, fuck, man. Fuck this!"
And everyone knows an SBC stands for. See if I'm what's it stand for.
Battle Competition.
Yeah, also known as Santa's Boot Camp, which apparently Paige's dad owns, and Paige has been doing since she was a little girl.
Paige was the last Ho Ho Ho, and then Paige has been doing this for 85 years.
Paige was not the last Ho Ho Ho. That's not true.
The dad was.
Oh, okay. I can buy that.
And then the Miz is like, "Fuck, why? I work out. I'm Shaq, dude."
I can beat up this pencil neck geek, and he looks at Paige and bullies her for a little bit. And then, but also, why can't Santa just be like, "No, I changed the rules."
It's in the rule.
Yeah.
I changed the rules.
I feel like that would be a valid choice here. But the peppermint portal, Steven, we cut to the competitions. Paige is going to challenge the Miz to become Ho Ho Ho.
Oh my goodness.
We have a master of ceremonies.
For some reason,
we're in the North Pole jungle. The North Pole jungle.
There's a jungle in the North Pole?
But again, there is a master of ceremonies who is going to be presiding over the competition, and it is the Peppermint Portal Man. It is Fitz, the pervert. Steven,
he's like commentating the entire time.
He is commentating the whole time, but also there's one aspect about his appearance that I just loved. Fitz's beard is back.
He just liked it, you know? He liked his beard.
Yeah, I guess. What did he do to get it back, though? Like, just
decided to grow it out one day. Like, I kind of like my
Well,
beard.
no, if you remember, it was yesterday he shaved it.
Just kind of... Maybe time travel is like, you know... really cool when it comes to like your body hairs.
Maybe.
And it just like ages you quite a bit, but not like physically, but just like your hair. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that must have been it. So he's there, fully bearded, hosting the competition. And the first obstacle is a tree bridge. And everyone else in the North Pole is watching from like a live monitor in Santa's workshop. Paige kicks the Miz and steps over him, and then the Miz. This is just a long ass sequence of them going back and forth on an obstacle course, you know.
And then Billy's like cheering, like, "Yes, Miz, fucking win this for me!" Like in that.
Yeah, no,
voice.
she's going crazy, wild,
like,
cheering
she's not
for
getting
him.
paid enough for this movie to do these like vocal things to her throat, you know.
And she's fucked her voice for the rest of her life. That's a shoot.
Mrs. Claus is like, fuck, man, this is pretty epic. I love seeing the Miz battle this woman that Eleanor. That's her name. Her name is Eleanor.
Paige's name is Eleanor. But Steven, at one point, Paige crotches the Miz on a balance beam and headbutts him off a rope ladder, and then wins. Paige won. Paige is going to be the new ho-ho-ho.
Almost murders the Miz.
She does.
Because people die from these competitions.
And then she says, "Tough break, normie." And so that's sad. The whole movie was for nothing.
We wasted an hour of our life watching this.
Yeah.
You know?
But then they get back to the North Pole in the workshop, and Paige is there, and she's like, "Santa, I'm ready to be crowned a new how. And then Santa's like, "Well, you don't deserve the bell quite yet, Paige." And then the Miz tries to congratulate Eleanor/Paige, but then Paige is like, "Fuck you, you don't belong here, loser, go home."
Fucking normie, get out of here. Get out of here, man. Go back to your garbage life.
And then the Miz does. The Miz just straight up does. He's like, "I'm gonna go back to my regular life."
Yeah, I'm gonna go back being homeless now.
But before he does it, he steals the magical keychain from the personal trainer.
Belly's like, "Hey, Miz, I'm gonna leave this here, okay?"
Really?
Yeah, he's like,
I swore he pickpocketed her.
I might just leave this here for you, Miz. And then she outsies. Yeah,
damn,
and then
that's
the
crazy.
Miz teleports back into
the youth center.
Ohio? I don't
Iowa, Michigan. And he's back at the youth center, and actually this is demolition day, Steven. They're about to destroy.
He's at the bike place, and he wishes for a car with the bell. And there's
we don't need every fucking detail of the story.
And then he gets into the sports car, and he's like, "Shit, I can't drive stick." And then he does.
I did not write any of this down because I thought it was so inconsequential. The joke that Miz can't drive stick shift. Okay? And so we get to the demolition site. They're about to tear down the youth center. And the Miz is like, "No, don't demolish it." And then his boss is there. And Miz is like, "No." And then the Miz is like, fuck you." And then he sees the director of the youth center that stole money and blamed it on the Miz back when he was a child.
I can prove that the youth center is awesome, all right? And he brings the bell, and the director guy's there in like vacation swimming clothes.
Yeah, and then police show up and they arrest the guy who stole money.
This guy has been stealing money. And then the woman in the crowd's like, "He was stealing money. Who is she?"
An accomplice. She was also arrested. The police.
And then the cops like, "Shit, they got enough proof for me." And they just arrest him on the spot because that's what police arrest
do. Well, also, why were there police there? Were the police there to stop the protesters, I guess?
They're just judge and jury, I guess, at this point. Maybe. For everything.
Yeah. Fuck it. Let's go.
And then landlord's guy's like, "Okay."
This is a very quick resolution to the movie. Okay, guys, this is happening very fast.
How this guy just teleported into the area out of like thin air. He's like,
or how we ended up in vacation clothes very suddenly, or how the police
the fact
just
that, like,
spontaneously
some guy just got
appeared.
arrested.
Yeah.
Okay, Miz, like, I don't give a shit. I don't know who that is.
But then Santa shows up.
But the Miz is like, "I'm actually. You want money? You want money?" He gets the bell. He's about to ring it, but then a hand grabs the Miz's hand.
Holy shit.
It's motherfucking Santa Claus, dude. And Santa's
Hell
like,
yeah.
no, dude. Okay, give me that back. You're on your own now, Miz.
And so then the Miz is like, oh man, I can't use magic anymore. So he just throws his body in front of the bulldozer. And then he's like, who here believes in Santa Claus? And
Nobody
everyone's
raises
like,
their hands.
and the Miz is like, who here believes in the youth center? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah,
and
I can go with that.
they all get into a single file line and pack into
Why did
like
they do that? The
the
protest?
doorway.
We don't know, you know?
Well, they didn't have someone as brave as the Miz
and
who
then
could
the
get
guy
people
in
arrested.
the crane is like, shit, I don't really get paid enough to like murder these people.
To murder
I don't know.
people. No, that probably won't do wonders for him.
I'm just gonna like go now, I guess.
And then the Miz screams, this center is ours. It'll always be ours. And then Santa makes it snow. And then the ex-boss, the one who fired the Miz at the beginning of the movie, he just leaves.
Yeah,
but then
I'll do it tomorrow, man. You know, like in the morning.
yeah, I'll just once you guys go, bro, I'll do it during the middle of the night even. I don't fucking know.
You know.
Paige shows up though. There's more
Paige.
conflict. The new ho 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 Paige is here, and she says, "Santa, I'm ready to be ho ho ho." And Santa's like, "Well, Paige, I found a rule in my own rule book that the ho 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 duel, in order to win it, you have to be a good sport. And because you were not a good sport, you can't be the ho ho ho." And he says, "That leaves me with just one qualified candidate left." And it's Billy the personal
Oh my
trainer.
Because if you didn't realize, this was all a training for Billy to become the ho ho ho
Yeah.
the entire time.
And then the
Santa
Miz is
always
like-
wanted Billy to be the ho ho ho. The Miz is still
Miz- homeless,
by the way.
He's still without a job, without a home, without a family.
Without a car. Santa took his car back, by the way.
That too. But Miz is like, Santa, before you go back to the North Pole, can I please get a new car? And Santa says no, which is a little rude.
Fuck you.
It's like, what the
How
fuck,
dare
Santa?
you. It's supposed to be anything to make them, because, you know,
But
it just comes out of thin air.
Worth even more than a car is a true love's kiss, Steven.
And
As
then
Miz and Billy lock lips in front of the youth center. What a
Billy
romantic
wraps
spot.
her legs around the Miz and starts like fucking dunking on his lips, dude. It was crazy.
Yo, that's wild. And then they're
Yeah.
like, can this work? A normie and an elf? And they never really answered the question, so hopefully that means room
the
for
Miz
a
is
sequel.
homeless. Does the Miz live in the North Pole now? Is he still homeless in like America?
We don't know. Maybe he'll move to the North Pole and live with Billy. I hope so.
I don't know.
Again, I'm just hoping, God willing, there is a sequel. You know, because that's how the movie ends, guys.
Does Billy even have like money? Do they need money in the elf world?
She literally has a keychain that can give her anything she wants.
Santa, man.
Listen, Santa's a little fucked. Okay, let's be honest. Santa was playing
What if she was
favorites
like a
this entire movie.
Maybe if she was a Nazi, Santa would be kind of fucked, you know?
What the fuck? I was thinking, what if she wasn't pretty? Would Santa give her the same privilege, or is this pretty privilege on display? Because I think it might be.
Maybe. Paige was there. He
Steven,
rejected Paige.
when in your
Why
life
was
has
the Miz
pretty
chosen?
privilege worked to your benefit? That's my question. Okay,
When was
that's the
why
lesson.
was the Miz chosen for this test?
Because of his pretty privilege. Santa saw what he looks like in his boxers and robe and was like, yo, listen,
Shit, man, I
I
wanna
gotta get me
squeeze
some of
them."
that in the North Pole. I'm stuck with some pervert Fitz up here. I need to get me a Miz for him and his Mrs. Claus, and I get it, man. I get it.
So this
completely.
movie was a movie.
What did you learn from it?
I was actually really bored throughout the entire movie. To be honest with you.
It was okay. We've watched worse. Pro Wrestlers
Like
vs.
it's
Zombies
like a
was
really
worse.
inoffensive Christmas movie. You know,
Yeah,
like
but I love
don't
The
gain or
Miz.
lose anything from it.
You know? So, like, it's fun to watch The Miz, because he's awesome.
I mean, if you like The Miz, you have a pretty alright time. If you don't really care about The Miz, it's like, okay.
Do you find
Yes.
yourself in that latter category of not
Because like
caring
I
about
was
The
watching
Miz?
it with like people on like a Discord movie night
Why?
call.
Why were
Why
you
not?
doing that to your poor friends?
They did. Everyone was like, I don't really care. This movie's like whatever.
You were just peer pressured by them. If you watched it by yourself, you would have thought it was a fucking awesome movie. Okay?
Yeah, it's
Listen.
true.
Yeah, I know. You
He's
were
a monkey.
distracted by all your friends. But again, when those carvings didn't mean jack shit. Okay, the carvings from the beginning of the
It
movie.
was supposed to foreshadow that he was part of the youth center. Like he grew up with it.
I thought it was gonna foreshadow
Dumbass.
that as a kid he had like a young lover at the youth center, and that she
What?
died tragically, and now he can't stand Christmas because his young lover died.
Because you want to be an astronaut.
I thought it was like
His
a
name on
heart
it.
with 2 initials, like D
This
plus
is why
X.
you can't fucking analyze movies. This is why we don't understand the plot of Psych. You know, you can't. You're
Listen,
missing out on
you
all
didn't
these, like,
fucking
analysts
understand the
and
plot of
shit.
Psych either, you dumbass. Okay? Listen, anyone who didn't watch from episode 1 could reasonably think that that man is an actual psychic. Because why does he have flashes? Okay? Anyone could reasonably think that. How is it more logical to think he has just a really good memory? It's not.
So yeah, that was Santa's Little Helper. It wasn't the worst thing we watched on this show.
No, I enjoyed it a little bit.
Wrestling vs. Zombies was probably like the worst one that we watched.
I
so far.
hated that. I did not like
This
that
is probably
at
like
all.
above that movie.
It was
I don't
above
know.
fucking Countdown or whatever the Dolph Ziggler gun one was.
I don't know. Countdown had Rusev in it. That was pretty.
It did have Rusev in it, but the movie by and
pretty
large was the most boring shit ever. Okay?
But this
That
is like
movie
this is all just boring
sucked.
though. There's no like fun part in this movie.
The fun part of the movie is
No, because like at least in Countdown you have Rusev with a gun getting super kicked. You know, that's pretty funny.
but in this movie, you have the Miz getting beat up by Maurice. So
Yeah, but they're not even. It's like a cutaway from the punch.
yeah, I guess so.
Um,
You have a really pretty personal trainer who's very obviously fucking Santa Claus. You don't see that in every movie.
It's fair. Why does
So-
Santa need a personal trainer? You know.
So he can be
Unless
in
it's
shape
like
for
unless it's like
Halloween
an
or fucking
assistant
Christmas.
for fucking
Maybe
possible.
Maybe it's that, Steven. What a profound way to put it. But that was Santa's Little Helper. And I think it's about time, Steven, that we go ahead and mosey on over to what else happened in the world of wrestling when Santa's Little Helper was released in 2015. Which, believe it or not, is the same year we've already been recapping
Oh
with
my
Lucha
goodness.
Underground.
Did we already reach this month
Ooh,
of the episode airing?
So thankfully this movie was released in the holiday season.
Oh thank God.
So untapped
Is this
territory.
gonna like fuck us up like a few weeks from now?
Well, we'll figure it out. Let's figure it out in the next segment, Steven. Let's get to it. So, Steven.
Well, welcome back everybody to the recap of November 17, 2015.
Woo! November 17th, 2015. I heard you had a question for me about if this segment might fuck us.
Is it?
So, Steven, fortunately, this week of wrestling takes place in the off season
Oh my
of
gosh.
the
thank
Lucha
goodness.
Underground. I
I'm so
know.
scared, dude. Is it a pay per
I
view?
know.
Is it gonna be like fucking TLC or some shit?
Well, don't you worry. We do have a pay-per-view recap locked and loaded for the week of November 17th, 2015,
We
Steven.
can't escape these pay per views.
We really fucking can't.
These
Okay?
pay-per-views.
But we're going to have some special prediction rounds for the pay-per-view, Steven. Okay?
Okay.
We're going to have
Do you know
a
the
couple
results?
special prediction rounds. I have the results. Yes, I do know them.
Yo.
But we'll save that for later because we got to get to
Let's-
Survivor Series 2015
It's
later in
Survivor
the
Series? That's so long.
It's a long card. But before we get there, Steven,
Yeah.
there's something that it honestly might be the most important, most influential news we ever cover on Following Lucha. Okay? Because at the time in 2015, and still is the case today, there is a certain late night show called Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. Okay? And Jimmy Fallon had a special guest on his show this week. And that special guest is a WWE Hall of Famer. A man who once went undefeated at WrestleMania for over 20 years, Steven. The Undertaker.
Wait, really?
Was on Jimmy Fallon.
Like in character or like?
In character.
Oh,
And you
dang.
know it. Think about it, Steven. This is Thanksgiving season. You know, you get the Undertaker on your show. Survivor Series is coming up. If you get the dead man in character on your late night show, what do you think the dead man's gonna do?
He's gonna dance, right?
No, he's obviously going to tombstone pile driver Brad Maddox dressed as a turkey. What? Do you not remember this? I remember us existing in 2015 as teenagers. We were both 15-year-olds. And you sent me this clip on YouTube in November of 2015 of the Undertaker
Is so funny.
tombstone pile driving Brad Maddox, who is dressed like a turkey. Steven, you are lying to me if you're saying you don't remember this.
I remember Brad Maddox being tombstone as a turkey. I didn't realize it was now when this happened.
Yes. November 2015.
What a
by
really
the
interesting
Undertaker.
episode, because we talk about Brad Maddox and Paige. I hope we talk about the third member of the boss.
Yeah, what a profound point, Steven. Maybe later during the Survivor Series card.
We'll have all three of them.
Shouts out to Brad Maddox. This was his final televised appearance for WWE.
This is before he got lost in a cave, you know?
This is before he said pricks on a live show. God forbid, you know. Thank God they took that man off the TV. He was a problem.
Seven McMahon was like, I don't fucking know what's happening.
Who the fuck knows? But also good news, Steven, aside from the just complete destruction of Brad Maddox, Lucha Underground has officially begun filming season 2.
Oh, thank God. I didn't know there wasn't gonna be one.
I know. And Steven, if your memory serves you right, do you remember what station Impact Wrestling is airing on at this time?
Is it Twitch?
Well, it's not Twitch, unfortunately. That won't be
Destination
for
America?
another few years. Oh, well, it was actually a trick question because Destination America dropped them a while ago. So they have no TV deal at the moment. But they have just been picked up by Pop TV.
Yo, I love Pop TV.
That's my favorite TV. And I have already lost count of the number of stations they've been on since we started following Lucha. Okay, it's
WCW.
Yes, indeed. So shouts out to Impact. I'm gonna be watching every night on Pop.
How are they
I hope
marketing
you are
themselves? Like
they're no longer TNA.
For
just
these
Impact.
these airings, you know, like how do they how do they pitch the show? Like, yeah, we wrestle. It's like WWE, but like.
But worse, because we stay in one location with no wrestling fans. I think that's how they pitch it.
Which executive is like, yeah, I want to pick this show up, guys, you know, like.
Maybe
TNA?
they grew up like a really big TNA mark, like why Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor, you know?
Oh, maybe. Did he actually watch Ring of Honor?
Yeah,
No.
there are photos of him as a kid going to Ring of Honor shows, or as like a
Wow.
teenager, you know?
Good for Tony.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe it's like we had Hulk Hogan once on TNA, you know, and the executive
Yo.
like, shit, that guy's really popular right now, you know.
Yeah, he's been in the news
Yeah.
recently.
He's in
Let's
the
go,
news recently, guys.
That's a household name if I've ever heard one. Well, Steven,
Yeah.
listen, you might also remember this week in wrestling. It was actually a very newsworthy week, as one segment on Raw drew a lot of publicity. Okay, and this segment stars one of the stars from the movie we just watched, Paige. Okay,
What?
Saraya is on Raw. She's currently feuding with the reigning Divas champion Charlotte Flair. Okay, a lot has changed since the last episode of Lucha Underground we watched. And it was this week on Raw that Paige says, Charlotte, your brother Reed, the one who died from a heroin and prescription drug overdose, he just didn't have enough fight in him, and that's why he's dead.
Dope.
And then Charlotte was like, oh, that's hurtful. And then Charlotte's mom went on Twitter and said, WWE has lazy writers. And then Ric Flair was in an interview and they were like, Rick, how does it feel? They talked about your dead son. And Ric Flair was like, I don't know, but I'm going to be at Survivor Series this weekend.
That's what Tony Khan does. He's like, Tony Khan, why'd you fire that one black wrestler?
Well, you can find out if you tune in to Rampage on TBS this Wednesday. Exactly.
What a lad that those two are. when it comes to marketing.
Exactly. Two peas in a pod. This Tony Khan
Was Ric
and
Flair even
Ric
like
Flair.
hired or employed by the WWE at this point, or
I think he was Charlotte's manager for some matches. You know, he wasn't like full time, but he was showing up a lot. But
just before
Steven,
the fuck angle with
Lacey Evans, yeah, that
You know,
happened
I learned
to like
actually.
last
I learned
year,
that her
man.
husband has like an OnlyFans.
Lacey Evans,
Husband.
what does he do?
I don't know.
You
Only
should
OnlyFans
subscribe
now.
for research purposes.
Should.
Yes,
Should.
I think so. I think so. Do you think he'd be allowed on Wrestle with the Package?
Does he count?
Well, because I feel like Tom Phillips is, or not Tom Phillips, what the fuck? Mike Rome's girlfriend accounts on Wrestle with the Plot.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think Lacey Evans' husband's OnlyFans content, we should be allowed to illegally repost on Reddit.
Untapped
so.
potential. Well, I don't want to take down the subreddit Wrestle with the Package.
Oh,
you know?
shit. No, you're right. You're right.
That's his content. You know, he owns it legally.
Yeah, no, you're right.
speaking.
You're right.
You know, like fuck you. Was it the Iconics?
Lord Tensai? Oh,
The Iconics.
sorry. I thought you were mad at Lord
Killing
Tensai for
Wrestle
leaking
the-
Mandy Rose's
Wrestle-
content.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that was the news this week. That Lord Tensai is the one who told Shawn Michaels, like, "Hey, Shawn, did you see Mandy Rose's nude online?" And Shawn was like, "Ugh," and then they
Wait.
fired her.
Wait, we gotta talk about this later. What the?
Yeah, I guess so. My bad, my B.
Wait, I didn't know about that part.
Yeah. Lord Tensai was
anyways.
subbed, man. He knew what was going on. But John Cena, Steven, was in the news.
Wait, what the fuck? Okay.
John Cena is in the news because he is the most recent United States champion in WWE.
Oh my
But
god,
he's-
let's go. I got a fucking good prediction in like a month from now, dude. I'm ready for this, man. Okay.
What? No, like the most
Our
recent
pay-per-view
doesn't.
recap?
He already lost it. John Cena already lost his title, Steven.
Ah, shit. I thought it was a free point for me in this recap.
No, he lost it to Alberto El Patron.
Hey, look at that. Look at that.
Holy shit!
time
Alberto
this
is
match happens-
already back in WWE.
What the fuck?
We're watching Lucha Underground right now. He's like the guy, and he's already back.
It's crazy.
So he's not gonna be in season 2. Okay, sorry, I just connected those dots. But Steven,
Wrestling is funny.
John Cena has been off of TV ever since he
Wait,
lost the
aren't
title.
people like, oh man, wrestling's so exciting now because people can jump from AEW to WWE and vice versa, but not really because
AEW didn't fucking exist. So
Right.
listen,
But like this happened back with Lucha Underground and TNA and WWE. Okay, this happens back then, and it's cooler because TNA has,
Bobby Lashley, Ethan Carter III, Eric Young. I do, Steven, I want to drop some news on you. You always ask me, is this the week when James Storm showed up in NXT? Is this the week when James... It happened 1 week before this, okay? It happened 1 week prior. I know. So we are not allowed to talk about it. Sorry about it, man.
Is this
Sorry.
even a canon thing that happened?
Listen, John Cena's been off of TV because he lost the title, and now the reason came out for why he's been gone. He is filming a new reality television series called American Grit. Did you ever watch this?
Is this one of the Cars?
No. No.
Which one's
No.
the Cars?
I don't fucking know what you're talking. Bumblebee?
like a-
Transformers?
Which was there like a show where like John Cena would, like buy cars or some shit and like talk
No,
about
you're
sports
mistaking
cars?
it. You're mistaking it with fucking Chuck Palumbo. Remember he did that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Chuck Palumbo, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Silly guy.
Good old Chuck Palumbo.
John Cena is hosting American Grit, which is like it's a bunch of tough people, and they live in a around a lake in a bunch of camp houses, and one person gets eliminated every week, and the girl who won the show is called Gigi Gustin. And I used to love this reality show. My dad and I watched it all the
Why
time
did you watch this?
because I loved reality TV and John Cena.
What
What
network
better
was this
mixture is
on?
there? This was on Fox, Steven.
It's
It was
just like
on
a bunch
Fox.
of buff dudes.
No, it was like a weird cast. There's one girl that looked like a chipmunk and she had really long hair, but she lost one competition and the punishment was to shave her head. And then she shaved her head and she surprisingly looked really good with her head shaved. I didn't expect it. And there was a gay dude who made it to Final 2 with Gigi. Also, Gigi sounded like a cartoon character. So, you know,
Okay.
these are my memories.
This is the reason why this show wasn't picked up for another season. You know?
Fuck. No, you're right. You're right. No, it was good, Steven. I liked it. But yeah, John Cena's gone for that shit, I guess. So I miss him every day. But are you ready to get to our Survivor Series 2015
Okay, I'm ready,
retroactive?
baby. I'm ready for these pay-per-view predictions.
Predictions.
This one's
Let's
gonna
fucking
be
go.
off the charts, dude. Okay.
Well, Steven, can you remember correctly what news story was filling national headlines about Survivor Series prior to the event taking
Was
place?
it Kurt Angle coming back, or is that like
No.
years from
Like,
now?
think
Wait, that's TLC.
national news. This is covered by Forbes, Fox, CNN, all about Survivor Series 2015.
Is it Sting?
Steven, it is not Sting.
Is it like a
Sting
scandal?
has already returned. You could call it that. I would personally call it a terrorist threat from ISIS.
You know, just a terrorist threat. You know?
Yeah.
It's just a terrorist threat, man.
ISIS released a list of planned attacks, and one of them was Survivor Series in Atlanta.
Like specifically WWE Survivor Series.
Yes,
Atlanta,
WWE
Georgia.
Survivor Series, Atlanta, Georgia, November, whatever the fuck, 2015.
And this isn't the first time, you know, that there's a terrorist threat at a WWE event. I'm just saying. That
When was the
did
last
not
time?
happen.
Are you talking about Tommy Dreamer?
Saudi Arabia?
Oh, my bad.
The one that just happened a few weeks ago.
I guess that too. But yeah, so Steven, basically this was the same week as all those attacks in Paris by ISIS. Do you remember that? Like there was like the the Eagles of Death Metal concert that was shot up.
I was actually like looking them up the other day for some reason. Like
That's
remember that band
really
that got,
weird.
Like, shot up. And I looked them up and I read the comments and a lot of them were like, "These guys aren't death metal. The fuck? This sounds awful."
Well, basically, Steven,
It's like, okay, guys, okay.
those attacks in Paris all happened within the week, and then
Yeah.
ISIS put out this list of like, "Be scared, we're coming after you guys."
Why would
too."
they post a list of where they're going after?
Well, because I don't think they were actually planning to go there. They just wanted to scare people.
That's what they do. They're
and
called
so-
terrorists because they cause terror.
Exactly.
That's what my chemistry teacher told me when there's a bomb threat.
Wow.
And people who didn't show up to school were pussies.
True.
Actual
true.
quote.
Well, if you didn't show up to Survivor Series 2015, you were a pussy. Okay, they had a no bag
It was
policy.
like some like anti-WV like Mark was like, fuck, I really hate the Fed, bro. Okay, TNA, they need more viewers right now. We gotta scare the WWE universe away.
It makes sense. It makes
from
sense.
reaching these shows. You know?
A young Tony Khan called in a terrorist threat to Survivor Series 2015.
I'm gonna bring down the Fed with this terrorist threat.
No, that's so sad.
Um,
How old was Tony Khan in 2015? That's the
like
question.
30.
Oh, he was still pretty old, I guess. Yeah. But Steven, would you like to
Yeah.
get to the predictions of the actual show? I won't count
The
that one
terrorist
against you.
episode of Survivor Series.
Exactly.
Let's
So
go.
yeah, with every match I read off for you that we're predicting, I want you to keep in mind that the entire audience was tense and on edge the entire time they might get killed. So,
Imagine Kane comes out, it's like, oh shit! Like, oh shit, dude.
the first match of the night, a pre-show kickoff match, and it's in the style of a Survivor Series elimination. It
I
is the
the
team.
kickoff show.
It is the team of The Miz, aka Dax Hardwick, Bo Dallas, Stardust, and The Ascension. Okay, the Cosmic Wasteland is together. It's exciting. That's one team, Steven. They are fighting Neville, the Dudley Boys, Titus O'Neil, and Goldust. Who
What
walked?
happened?
And I won't be mean. I won't make you guess who the final Soul
Can I
Survivors
guess the Soul Survivor?
were.
Am I allowed to guess the
I
Soul
mean,
Survivor?
I didn't write them down, but I do remember them from this match. This match you can guess, but the rest I don't know.
Okay.
But who do you think won, and who do you think the Soul Survivors were?
I'm gonna go with Team Good Guys. And I'm gonna go with the Dudley Boys and Neville.
Oh my gosh. Well, Steven, you are correct in that the good guys
Let's
did
go.
win this contest. Congratulations on
Easy.
that, man. Congratulations on that.
Easy.
However, I have bad news for you. The sole survivors were actually every person on the good guy team except
Neil.
No. Titus was in there, baby. Except for Neville.
Yeah, fuck Neville, dude. That guy sucks.
Yeah, fuck him. So yeah, but good job. You got the prediction right, Steven. Congrats on that.
How do you feel about the Survivor Series sweeps? I feel like it's such a cop-out thing to do. Like, it's so lame, you know?
Yeah, it is kind of lame. I will be honest, Steven. I cleared formatting on my list of results before I printed it because there was a weird highlight behind everything. But I'm now realizing my clear formatting got rid of all the winners because I usually bold those. So we're gonna try to do this from memory.
Well, now who wins now? Oh, no.
Next up is a WWE tournament title semi-final.
What
And
tournament?
Basically,
Why
Seth Rollins.
Semi-final.
Earlier this month, Seth Rollins vacated the WWE Championship after tearing his MCL and ACL in a match against Kane in Ireland.
Yeah, that sucks, dick, dude. Your last match is against Kane as champion.
That is, and in Ireland. It's not a good time on any
It's not
front.
even like aired on TV or anything.
So this European tour, Seth tears his shit up. He has to vacate the title, and now there's a tournament to determine the new WWE champion. And so the new champion will be determined in the main event later tonight. But before then, we have two semifinals matches. The first semifinal match, Steven, is between Roman Reigns and the current United States champion, Alberto Del Rio.
Man, I wonder who wins this match.
Don't let this sway your judgment, Steven. But Alberto is accompanied by Zeb Coulter.
Oh no, I should have known.
I know.
I don't do anything now. This changes the odds.
It does.
Drastically, dude.
So who do you think wins?
I think Roman Reigns wins with a spear and covers.
Well, I can't fucking tell you the move he won with, but Roman Reigns did in fact
Let's
win
go.
this WWE
Easy,
Championship
baby. Yeah.
semi-final match. And Steven, the next match on the card is another WWE title tournament semi-final. This one is between one Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose, who will battle Roman Reigns for the WWE title.
Dean Ambrose. Wait, no. Wait. Kevin Owens. I changed my mind. Kevin Owens.
Who is your... remember, Steven, the man
Kevin
who
Owens.
lost and vacated the title is Seth Rollins.
It's Kevin
the three
Owens.
men
Fuck
who
you.
made up
Kevin
the Shield
Owens. It's Kevin
are
Owens.
Roman Reigns,
It's Kevin
Seth
Owens
Rollins,
wins. Kevin
and
Owens
the
wins.
winner of this match... No, it's Dean Ambrose. Dean won,
Fuck.
man. You fucking lost your predictions. Why the fuck did you think KO?
Wasn't the next Universal Champion?
Well, there was no Universal Championship yet.
Oh, that's right. It's the WWE one. Oh, shit.
That's not until like another fucking 10 months, man.
Shit, dude.
That's not
Should've
till
known.
August of 2016. That's when Roman failed his drug test and Finn Balor beat him. You know?
That's not actually why Finn Balor's champion.
It's why Roman lost, I think. But,
Thank
you know.
Finn, dude. Nothing went out well for him at
Yeah.
all, you know?
It's
Wasn't
a
even the
little
first
tough.
choice to be their Universal Champion.
It's a little tough. But, Steven, it's okay. You can still make this up. You can still make this up with a saving round at the end of the pay-per-view, okay?
Okay.
So, next up, another Survivor Series matchup, Steven. This is between the team of Ryback, the Lucha Dragons, and the Usos versus the New Day, Sheamus, and King Barrett.
Oh my gosh.
And I have to be very honest with you, I don't remember who won this match, so let me look it up.
Shiz. Like, it could... I don't think it's Team Ryback, right? Because I feel like Ryback would... Why was Ryback so pushed back then?
Well, he was, I think, still fucking Intercontinental Champion back then, man.
What?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Dude
go
was on
with
a
Team
run.
Bad Guys.
Oh, man, Steven. Well, I can't wait to tell you the results and whether or not you're right or wrong. Because this match had some pre-shows and preliminary matches. And then the main event. And here are the results, Steven. As the winners of this match were... Who'd you say won?
Bad Guy.
No,
Bad
fuck,
Guys
you got it
won.
wrong. The good guys won.
What?
The Usos and such.
What team Ryback? Was Ryback even the sole survivor? Okay.
Ryback, I don't fucking know. I closed Wikipedia. Sorry.
Exactly.
But you got 2 matches in a row wrong, Steven. This next one you better fucking get. Okay? The champion Charlotte.
Wait, is this a match where like the Lucha Dragon like injured himself?
I don't know,
Like,
man.
Breaking.
I don't know.
One of them.
I don't fucking keep tabs on Diego and the other one, who I forget the name of. Diego and Phil, yeah, man,
Jacob?
fuck.
One of them.
Jacob's fucking El Torito. Don't dox him like that. And so,
Sorry, El Dorito.
Steven, the Divas title is on the line. It's the woman we talked about earlier. It's Charlotte. It's Paige. Who won this match? Is it Eleanor or is it Ashley?
I'm gonna assume that everyone in the movie that was released this week lost, but Charlotte wins.
You mean it's punishment for producing such a bad film?
Yeah.
That's so hurtful. Well, you're right. Charlotte did win this match.
Thank God.
Congrats on that one. Ric Flair and his mom
Paige is
are
in a
pumped.
lot of movies now that I think about it. It's kind of crazy.
I mean, the first one was Santa's Little Helper, so never forget it. Okay? But next up, Steven, we have a match that I remember very fondly. This is Tyler Breeze with Summer Rae versus Dolph Ziggler, the newly called up Tyler Breeze.
I'm gonna go with Dolph Ziggler for this one.
Look, everyone, it's Tyler.
I don't remember this at all.
I do, because he would eat grapes from Summer Rae's hands. And Steven, you were wrong. This was Tyler Breeze's pay-per-view debut. Of course,
Why would
he
I
won.
pick Dolph Ziggler?
You fucking loser.
Why did I pick Dolph Ziggler?
You're at a 50-50 win rate, Steven. This could be your worst predictions of all time. This could be your worst predictions of all time if you don't kick things into a new gear. The next matchup is a tag team match, not Survivor Series style. It is between the teams of the Wyatt family. And representing the Wyatts here are Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper, Steven, okay? So we got the big guns. And
not the big one, the other big one.
No, not Eric. Eric's not here.
Just the good
but
ones.
You
just
know
the good ones.
who their opponents are.
Daniel Bryan.
You got this. No. Their opponents were Kane and the Undertaker, the Brothers of Destruction. I don't remember this match at all.
This happened?
Don't believe it, but it did. And Taker was fucking on the cover for the Survivor Series on the poster. So, yeah. Wild.
Taker wins, right?
What's your final prediction?
Taker and Kane win with a tombstone.
I don't know if they fucking won with a tombstone, but they did win. The Brothers of Destruction are victorious.
What?
Now, Steven.
This match was a thing?
That match was a thing.
It's crazy.
I guess. I mean, I can't confirm it because I don't remember it and I didn't watch it. Maybe someone just lied in the results I looked at, which is possible. You know? Like, we could go do that.
You know?
We could go and add a fucking untelevised pre-show match to the card and no one would doubt it. Yeah.
Change the what name of paper? Like Great Balls of Fire? Brad Maddox versus Dolph Ziggler. That happened, you know?
It did.
In the pre-show.
In a 60-minute Iron Man match. It was awesome.
It's crazy.
Just to get the crowd warmed up. But Steven,
the crowd.
It is time for our main event of the evening. We will be crowning the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. This is a match between two brothers, two former best friends. A match between Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, who walks out of this match.
Roman Reigns wins.
With the championship. You think Roman wins?
Roman wins.
Okay, is that your final prediction?
Yes. Roman
and now,
is big dog.
I'm going to ask you one more question, Steven, okay? Before I give you a point for that, before I tell you if it's right or wrong, I want to ask you a new question. Not who walked out of the match
Sheamus
with the title.
comes out with the Money in the Bank contract and wins and beats Roman Reigns.
Out of the Survivor Series
is champion now. Roman Reigns is crying on the floor
2015 pay-per-view.
With his hands on his eyes with confetti everywhere. And Sheamus is like, yeah, oh, brother, I'm champion now. And then Roman's is dead in the ring. Dean is somewhere. Fuck Dean. That's what
Steven,
happens.
I am so happy to tell you, you have gained a bonus point.
Let's go.
You
Easy.
get 2 check marks for that one because Roman did win and Sheamus.
Money in the Bank happened yet, you know?
We talked about it a few weeks ago. That was like the last pay-per-view we recapped.
Short-term booking, look at that. Easy.
Air boom. So, Steven, let's talk about your record for that show.
Okay.
On a card with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches,
Jesus,
you have earned yourself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 check marks.
Easy.
That is pretty good if I do say so myself.
Easy game.
Easy
game.
Congrats, Steven. Congrats. That was Survivor Series 2015. Shouts out to the Brothers of Destruction. And also
there?
Zeb Coulter. You know, imagine a locker room with those 3 men. Oh my God.
Wow.
To be there, to be a fly on the wall. Steven, are you ready to hop into our current events from this week in pro wrestling?
Yes.
Let's fucking do it. This show's going on way too long.
Hello. Welcome everybody for this week in wrestling news.
Yo.
What happened this week? Well, guess what happened this week? Naked people happened this week.
What?
A lot of naked pictures were leaked this week.
I don't know. I saw a photo from the new Avatar movie, and it was a bunch of like naked Na'vi frozen on the TV screen because the screen froze.
Yo, how was the movie, by the way? I didn't watch Avatar 2.
Well, I didn't see it either. I just saw a screenshot on Twitter.
There's like 3 more of these movies, you know?
Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot
That's also the reason
wait.
why there's no Aliens 4K release, by the way, because James Cameron does not like releasing 4K movies while he's working on other projects.
I'm still waiting for the theatrical release of his Aquaman. I don't know when it's coming out, Steven. But listen.
What, Shape of Water?
No. James Cameron's Aquaman, starring Vinny Chase.
Oh.
Yeah. Get with it, Steven. Get fucking with it.
Henry Cavill got fired from DC.
Big wrestling news. Guys, this is actually wrestling news because apparently The Rock is a petty little bastard, and I love it.
Wait, is he actually? What happened?
I feel like you would be more attuned to this news than I am.
Wait,
apparently, The Rock was like, why can't we have Superman in Black Adam to make a cameo? And DC was like, we can't have Superman make a cameo because we don't have a Superman. And The Rock was like, why can't we use fucking Henry? And they were like, well, Henry doesn't want to work with us anymore. And The Rock was like, no, you're going to get Henry. And they got Henry, and Henry cameoed in Black Adam. And then apparently James Gunn was angry.
Black Adam.
Sorry about that, bro. But apparently James Gunn was angry, and now The Rock and James Gunn hate each other.
What?
Yeah, man. I thought you were the comic book nerd.
I don't give a shit about fucking DC movies, man. I'm gonna be honest.
Fuck. I'm sorry about that.
It's like, I don't know. Like, they somehow made like me feel bad for $1 billion like industry, you know?
Because of how just horribly they fumbled every single film franchise they've been given.
I don't know how. Like, I feel bad for $1 billion corporation, you know? Like, it's so weird.
Well, when there's just such sheer incompetence on display time after time again, you can't help but feel sympathy, Steven. You cannot help it. Which, similarly, I don't know if I should feel sympathy or not, regarding the rumors that one Matt Riddle has been sent to rehab.
That wasn't a riddle. That wasn't a rumor.
Confirmed?
He was legit just sent to rehab.
Oh shit! I thought someone denied it. Like
That's
someone
why they
close
wrote him
to,
off. Because
Riddle.
last week on Raw, he was injured, you know?
No,
A neck brace.
that's so
And
sad.
the big
on
rumor.
the
is that,
Wrestling
hey guys,
Observer newsletter, told me that one of Matt Riddle's friends said he didn't go to rehab. Okay.
What?
I know, but what happened, Steven? What happened?
The big rumor right now is that, like, hey guys, WWE, they don't test for weed anymore. Is it?
No, we've
is it
known
possible?
that for forever.
Is it possible that Matt Riddle is snorting cocaine?
Holy shit.
Oh my gosh.
That's insane. Who would have thought?
I don't know. I don't really care if he.
I just want to ask the question: if we're testing Matt Riddle, are we not also testing Damian Priest? Because I feel like we're one man's nose, so is the other. You know, they can't be too far behind one another. So I don't know.
Human Centipede, or like.
Sure, man. That's exactly what I meant. But I mean, I guess I kind of care if he's doing coke because it's not the best for someone's
who
career
does coke?
longevity.
You know who did coke?
Who's
Shawn
that?
Michaels.
Oh, fuck. I do love
He's
Shawn
out.
Michaels. Well, he looks
Exactly.
really homely now. He looks disgusting. He looks like Sam Roberts. I don't know if you've seen.
He's bald, white, and a beard.
Yeah.
That guy looks like Sam Roberts. That guy
No.
looks like Alex Jones.
No. That's
A little
so
bit of red
sad.
on her face.
And now he's just like making out with Carmelo Hayes. It's really weird. I don't know what Shawn Michaels
What?
is doing with this later part of his life. I don't know, man.
Oh
I
my
have no
gosh.
clue. Yeah, I don't
Speaking
know.
of butts,
Fucking
good
do
transition,
coke.
man. Butts. Because this week there's been a lot of drama of this on Twitter person, WWE, right? Of this woman, Mia Yim. She deactivated her Twitter account
Oh shit, I did see that.
because WWE posted a picture of her, or she did, of her wrapping her legs around Austin Theory.
She was like straddling Austin Theory, bro. It was kind of crazy.
and like eating yogurt. And then people are like, "Yo, Mia, are you cheating on Mr. Lee?"
Are you cheating on Keith Lee? And then everyone else was like, oh my god, you guys are so gross. They are literally giving brother-sister vibes. But I personally, as a human with a sister, I've never quite been straddled in that way. Nor do I particularly want to be. But yeah,
They're also like
brother-sister
different
vibes.
ethnicities.
Well, I guess so, but that doesn't have to factor into the vibes.
Because
You know, but-
I love putting my legs around my sister and being straddled by
Well,
her
you've
with
just
a yogurt.
bended the genders as well, Steven, which is a little odd, but you do you. Yeah, no, I didn't get that at all. It felt very like flirty, but also they're coworkers. One's like way younger than the other. Who gives a
I
shit?
think it's just a funny image that they wanted to post. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. Who cares? Keith Lee
It's
probably
like
doesn't give a
whenever
fuck.
it's like whenever Paige or Alexa Bliss are with another guy in a picture, someone has to say, "Are they?
Single? Oh, are they together?
Are they?
So valid,
are.
Steven. So fucking valid. So valid.
Yeah.
So valid.
Anyways,
well,
See, Mia
yeah.
is off of Twitter
Hypothetically, if you I was going to say if you were Austin Theory, how would you feel about the situation?
now. You think Austin Theory gives a shit?
You know what? I found some really interesting information about Austin Theory in the last week. And it's really changed my view of him as a whole.
Same,
so
actually.
I don't quite know what to think about Austin Theory anymore.
Yeah, what a weird
but
dude.
I'll leave it at that. So Steven, I have some
All
other
was
big
this
news.
known for this Austin Theory news? Like how open was this in the public? You know,
Who's to say? Who's to say? We got some other news regarding Twitter, regarding social media, and another women's wrestler, Steven. That women's wrestler, of course, Mandy Rose.
Roxanne Perez is now the NXT Women's Champion. Isn't that crazy?
Exactly.
She beat Mandy
Roxy.
Rose with her move, the Pop Rocks, which is just a sunset flip.
Yo.
And then she did it on Indy Hartwell, and she couldn't do it because she was too big.
Aw, that's so sad. Well, Roxy is an El Paso native, and when I was at college, my dad used to watch her on the indies all the time. So shouts
Wow.
out.
Shouts out. That's the future right there, baby. Unless she quits,
Hell yeah,
and she's not.
baby.
Fuck you, Roxanne.
Oh yeah, fuck you
case
for
that
maybe
happens.
quitting, doing like your idol AJ. Okay, fuck you. But okay, so Steven, the Mandy Rose stuff happened. I feel like we don't need to talk about it because it was so fucking long ago. Everyone kind of gets the deal. Mandy Rose got fired because she's doing some premium content that's a little more
Picture of her
explicit.
butthole online is pretty cool.
Well, that's so cool. That's great. The only interest I have in this story is that I've learned Tino Sabatelli is also producing explicit content on the internet. Okay? Like, Mandy,
What?
do whatever you want. But the fact that Tino is right there with her is just very exciting to me. The fact that Tino
rat.
Sabatelli is going to be a billionaire one day is exciting to me. You
There's
know?
a picture from like fucking in the shower. Just pretty cool.
Wow. That's great.
Wait, so what happened with Lord Tensai? Was he a snitch, or was he like sharing nudes like with Mandy? Like, hey, Sean, I have these pics of Mandy from her fan times, you know? And Sean's like old boomer man's like, oh, I don't know what that is, man. And
Oh
I
my
don't
poor
know.
Sean. We really, really disparaged the good name of Shawn Michael Hickenbottom. Okay, this is really fucked up.
Wait, what happened there? Was he just like snitching on Mandy, or was it like sharing nudes of Mandy?
Oh, fuck, sorry. His name is Michael Sean Hickenbottom. I'm sorry for getting that wrong,
How
Steven.
did you forget that?
I'm sorry, bro. But I know basically how I heard it, and I forget who the fuck it was. Maybe it was just a rumor. I think it was backed up, though, is that Tensai, the head trainer, of course, at the PC, was like, hey, Sean, I hate to bring this to your attention, but here's what our female champion is doing in her free time. And then I guess that's when the consequences were doled out from there.
How did he know?
Is Lord Tensai a sub? That is the question. That is the question I've been asking myself for years.
Do you think he was like an undercover name?
You mean you think he was
like,
subscribed to Mandy Rose's premium content under a pseudonym? I don't think personally, but maybe.
Think he's seen her butthole?
I hate to speculate on such matters, Steven. I have too much respect for Lord Tensai. So, I don't fucking know. But shouts out to Mandy Rose. She's gonna kill it, doing her thing, making more money than she would in WWE.
You think she's gonna go to AEW and become AEW Women's Champion? That's what people ask immediately.
The timing of you asking worked really well too. Just like completely out of context. No one was ready. You're wanting the question. Just annoying. A wrestling fan who can't read cues. Yeah.
Every fucking
No, it
time,
makes sense.
dude.
It makes sense. No, I want to talk about a story I do care a lot about, Steven, okay? Because I mean, yeah, that sucks for Mandy that she got fired, but again, she'll be fine.
Really?
She's gonna
She
kill
makes
it.
she made like what, $250,000 already apparently in subs
Who
alone.
the fuck knows? But listen, Steven, when we watched that movie Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies a few weeks ago, we had a standout favorite from the film.
John Helms, right?
Not Shane Douglas. Shane Helms wasn't in the film, for one, but I know you're talking about Shane Douglas.
Sorry, wrong Shane.
But, no, another man, Steven. Another man who just randomly appeared at some point, and then died not long after. And that of Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Okay?
Oh, no. Hacksaw.
And Hacksaw's been in the news recently as he is a 68-year-old man living in South Carolina, and his unfortunately his home was recently broken into, which is really really tough.
Sad.
I know, he's like a 70-year-old dude, and just some 20-year-old kid stumbles into his house. But apparently Jim Duggan, despite being an elderly man, is still very capable. He apprehended the 20-year-old and held him at gunpoint. Very easily in his own home.
Does it not have a Ring doorbell system that can use to like call the cops immediately?
I guess not. Well, because apparently Jim Duggan's door was left unlocked. This man just entered through his unlocked door, and then Jim Duggan held him at gunpoint. And then he was like, don't shoot me, don't shoot me. And Jim Duggan was like, why shouldn't I shoot you? And then the 20-year-old was like, because I'm not here to steal things from you. I'm here because I'm running away from a group of thugs chasing me down the street. And Jim Duggan was like, huh? And then I guess they looked outside, and there was a group of thugs looking for this dude that snuck into Jim Duggan's home. What? And so he was, some dude was seeking.
Is a plot of a movie? What movie is this?
Listen, I don't know, but this young man was running away from a group chasing after him. He sought refuge in just the first unlocked house he could find.
Thank God,
apparently,
the house was unlocked from a senile old man, you know?
I guess so. But apparently he tried opening like everyone else's door and knocking on it, and Jim Duggan's was the only one that would budge. But little did he know an old man, the senile old man with a firearm was waiting for him.
Dude, just imagine, you're just like some dude, right? Getting chased by a gang, like mafia people. The first door you open, it's like Jim Duggan, right? And you just fucking hold a gun next to your head. What do you do in this situation? It's like, shit, man.
Damn.
It's so scary.
But then, fortunately, Jim Duggan, very understanding, he decided not to press charges.
I also know someone who got, you know...
Yeah. All my best friends get chased down by gangs in the middle of a South Carolina suburban neighborhood. You know, it happens to the best of us. Yeah, man.
What a twist,
I get it.
dude.
I get it. Also, Steven, did you watch Dynamite this week?
No.
Oh, fuck. Well, I only paid attention to one story coming out of it, and that's apparently that Chris Jericho had a jobber match, like just an enhancement match, right?
Oh, he lost that, right?
Well, yeah, he lost to some guy who had never been on Dynamite before named Action Andretti. And
Dang, that guy's
everyone's
awesome.
like, this is the modern day X-Pac and fucking Razor Ramon.
Oh, I saw the tweet that X-Pac made after that. That was pretty funny.
What did X-Pac say?
Razor Ramon beat the shit out of me. No, something like that.
Oh shit! Do you think Chris
Yeah.
Jericho did not beat the shit out of Action Andretti? That's so
Yeah.
sad. But yeah, shouts out to Action Andretti. He got signed to an All Elite contract. I was just thinking they didn't
Yo,
have enough talent
Action?
signed. So
Is this the
Yeah.
modern day Austin Theory?
what? Why?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. He looks like a white member of Top Flight, if I'm being honest.
Is
You
he
know?
gonna actually wrestle on AEW ever?
I imagine he'll probably fight Jericho at least one more time, but
And
who
then
knows from
lose.
there? Maybe. But Chris Jericho, Steven, is not only on Dynamite this week, okay? He was also announced to be coming up, to be starring in a new Canadian horror movie, okay?
Oh my gosh,
And-
how horrible.
I know, what a good pun. Apparently, Jericho was recently in like the big horror movie called Terrifier 2, you know? So like he's continuing on with his horror career, and this one is not just a Canadian horror film. It is a Canadian horror film about wrestling.
What? Oh my gosh, are the
Mm-hmm.
wrestlers evil?
Well, I don't think they're cannibal zombies, if that's what you're asking, / vampires. But the movie is called Dark Match, if that indicates
That's a pretty
anything
good title.
to you.
That's a pretty good title.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think anyone's gonna watch it?
Is it an A24 movie or is it like some shitty like
I doubt
Indie
it.
film.
What the fuck? It's
probably
Canada,
not
man. It's a
then.
Canadian film.
a lot of Canadian films?
Yeah. Fuck Canadian films. Glad that's an official stance for this podcast.
Yeah.
Also, I saw that on Rampage. Apparently, Moxley almost lost his ear when he fought Sammy Guevara. So that's pretty cool.
Another win for Sammy Guevara, baby.
Woo! Another win for the good guys. Also, I saw Sammy Guevara's most recent vlog on YouTube, and
Why?
he's in his apartment, but his apartment looks so shitty, like so unfurnished. And I'm like, how much are they paying poor Sammy Guevara? Because it doesn't feel like much, you know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I feel bad.
I don't know.
I feel very bad.
Oh, here's what X-Pac said.
Oh,
I
good.
just got the shit beat out of me by Scott. Before he charged the corner, I moved and hit the moonsault body block. I got 0 offense in before that. Chris had a competitive match with Andrade before putting him over. Or Andretti.
Andrade. Oh shit.
Andretti.
Shouts out to Andrade. Oh shit. My
Putting
bad.
over Andretti and Chris, dude.
So true. So true.
Modern day
well,
X-Pac, which was really nice to say.
Sure. Well,
Yeah.
Steven, if I'm in charge of a wrestling company, I'm not putting over Chris Jericho. I'm not putting over Action Andretti. I'm putting over one man and one man only, and that man is named Top Dolla. Okay?
Oh my goodness,
Because
Top Dolla?
he had a standout performance this week on Smackdown. And
Hey, baby, let's go. Top
Hey.
Dolla.
I had no clue this man could take to the air like none other. I had no clue he had the flying ability of one Ricochet and Neville and Dante Martin all in
3
one.
kid.
And the 1, 2, 3 kid. As Top Dolla went for a diving nothing on the outside, and
I like the
he-
part in the video where
Got caught
one
on
of the
the
Viking
ropes.
Raiders, was it Eric, just stumbles.
no, it was probably
Impact
Valhalla.
of the air.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
ah, shit. He's like slowly falling down from the impact.
Guys,
of Top Dolla's nuclear missile.
Top Dolla went for a dive over the top rope. His legs hit the top rope, and he smashed his back on the ring apron. It was really impressive how embarrassing it was. So shouts out to Top Dolla.
I mean, is it worse than like saying a racist rap and getting fired because of it?
What?
You know why the reason I got like fired the first time,
No,
right?
that was not the reason. You just made that up and started saying it.
He made a racist rap about
Oh
gender.
my god.
And they
No,
got
they
fired
didn't.
because of it.
Listen, that's not why they got
That's
fired.
legit what happened.
Then why did they fire B-Fab first and then the rest of Top
I
Dollar
don't know.
2 weeks
Maybe
later?
that was their excuse. That was their excuse.
Uh-huh,
That was their
uh-huh.
excuse for getting rid of everyone.
Okay.
Um,
Well, Steven, you know who's not getting rid of anytime soon?
Who?
Well, Top
Austin
Dollar for one, because
Theory.
he's a star. But no, we're not talking about the Austin Theory news.
Do people care about Hit Row?
No. Next question.
Nice.
Steven, Uncle Howdy has debuted on SmackDown.
Uncle Howdy? Who's
Meaning
Uncle
it's the guy with the accent that talks to Bray Wyatt.
From like his debut, or is that just like a reference?
Yeah. That
Was it actually on his debut, or?
People thought like, oh, that's Bray Wyatt talking to himself, but now we know it's not Bray Wyatt talking to himself because Uncle Howdy and Bray Wyatt were out in the arena at the same time.
What? That's crazy.
I know. And now the theories are that Uncle Howdy is Bo Dallas, which is ecstatic.
Like
I'm
as
ecstatic,
Bill Dallas,
rather.
or as Uncle Howdy?
That's a good question. Remains to be answered. But we'll see, Steven. We'll see. But Eli Drake was pissing himself in the ring, okay? He was terrified. So we'll see where it goes. My final bit of news I have. Also coming out of SmackDown.
This is important. Top Dolla on Twitter posted about how he was 50-pound heavier in the video.
Yeah, I saw.
Top.
Yeah, because he did it successfully on the Indies. Great. I'm glad to see you went backwards when you made it to the WWE. That's awesome,
Good for Top Dolla, dude.
Apparently, John Cena is going to be returning to WWE very soon,
What?
Steven. He is going to be teaming up with Kevin Owens.
He's a meme now.
Who?
John Cena.
John Cena's been a meme since 2015, bro.
Yeah, but now with normies. You know, not like wrestling people.
He's been a meme with normies since 2015. I remember being in World History AP in sophomore year of high school, and people were like, and his name is John Cena!
Bing chilling, man. Because he supports China.
John Cena is a star, and he's crossed over into pop culture multiple times with memes, Steven. You better put some respect on his
Guardians of the
name.
Galaxy Christmas special. Pretty cool.
He was in that?
Just his face.
Saying Bing Chilling?
No, like they're like there's like a tour guide map of like celebrities, and John Cena is one of the celebrities that lives in Hollywood. Yeah.
Does he not have like an exclusive like DC contract?
No. I mean, it's just his face, not like Peacemaker, the John Cena
which he reserves
actor.
the likeness to, I guess. Whatever.
What a joke.
Well, Steven, John Cena's teaming up with Kevin Owens to fight the duo of Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn.
He's gonna lose.
Who is he? I named 4 men.
John Cena and Kevin Owens.
Okay.
Probably,
Those are 2 people. You should have said them. They will lose. And then I still would have had to ask you who is they. Exactly.
John Cena and Owens. Well, there's 4 people, so you know. You could have said Kevin Owens and John Cena.
Yeah, I mean, you should have. If you wanted to be clear, you should have been like, the good guys are going to win. You know?
Who are the good guys? You know?
When we do the Survivor Series, it is all subjective, okay? Because Roman Reigns is not a good guy or a bad guy. He's the guy. And
He's
then
just a guy, dude. He's just a guy. Come on.
Sami Zayn is just my dog, okay? So it's whatever, man. It's whatever. Listen, those are my current events. That was my week of. That was fucking Santa's Little Helper. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
We talked about that movie today.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else, Steven?
Hey, guys, if you like this podcast, give us a rating. Or you can even do better, giving us money.
Hell yeah. If you donate at least $200 to this podcast, we'll stop doing the podcast because we'll consider it a profit. Exactly.
We'll make a profit and we quit immediately, dude.
Yeah. So
yeah.
There's your incentive, guys. We'll be back next week with more Following Lucha, the start of Ultima Lucha. Until then, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and